You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1561. 1561 Chapter 356 Narrow-mindedness 1. Dang 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 dang. In the Hall of Weapons Forging, Suyu was sweating profusely as he silently helped Uncle Lu to repair the Earth Soldier. This Earth Soldier should have been forged by a strong person back then. Its quality was not bad. Even though it was heavily damaged, it did not destroy its foundation. The only problem was that it was not easy to repair. Suyu seriously repaired it. Lu Wenyan, who was beside him, also silently looked at him. His heart was filled with a myriad of thoughts. The master and disciple were silent, no longer communicating. Just like before, it was as if they had returned to the past. Suyu was studying, and Lu Wenyan was watching. It was just that they couldn't be the same as before. Suyu had encountered a difficult matter, so he could ask Lu Wenyan for advice. Now, even if Suyu asked him for advice on weapon forging techniques, Lu Wenyan couldn't answer. Time passed bit by bit, and the destroyed Earth Soldier lit up one inscription after another. 73, 74. Repairing it was a little easier than forging it. In the blink of an eye, 81 inscriptions lit up. It was a medium-grade earth weapon, and there were more than 81 inscriptions. However, Suyu stopped after forging it to this point. This is the best I can do. I'm afraid that I'll destroy this earth weapon. Now, I've barely recovered to the peak of the earth weapon basic level. Suyu threw the weapon to Uncle Lu and said indifferently, if you two can wait, you can wait until I officially advance to the Earth Weapon Division and forge a few earth weapons before I help you guys recover this earth weapon. Uncle Lu stroked the long sword and felt the powerful power contained within. It was much stronger than before. Suyu's art of forging weapons was really strong. Uncle Lu nodded slightly and said, it's already very good. Currently, I'm only at the Shanghai realm. If I really recover to the middle level of the earth weapon, it would be a little impractical. Thank you, Master Cui. Suyu said calmly, you're welcome. But let's make a deal. If I have any needs, you two have to help me in time. Is that okay? Uncle Lu was stunned for a moment. Lu Wenyan knew what he meant and nodded, no problem. My uncle and I are not prisoners in the vanguard camp. If you want to leave, you can leave any time. Suyu nodded slightly, he said indifferently, I know this. That cheap disciple of yours, Suyu, has offended the great Xia manor completely in order to punish you. Brother Lu, remember to think of your cheap disciple more. Don't scold him all day long. Lu Wenyan ridiculed in his heart. You brat, saying that you are good in front of me is enough. Very quickly, Lu Wenyan ignored this topic, he smiled and said, Master Cui, this time, you helped everyone repair their weapons. Although the Vanguard Battalion is a group of killing talents, they also pay attention to gratitude. On the battlefield of the heavens, if there is trouble, you can look for us at any time. If we can't do it, you can look for General Chao and the others. This was a reminder to himself. Suyu nodded and said with a smile, I know. There is no need to say anything else. Lu Wenyan glanced at him again and took a light breath. Then, we will take our leave first. Next. Suyu lowered his head and did not look at him. Lu Wenyan and Uncle Lu did not stay any longer and left silently. The next person entered the door and said flatteringly, Master Cui, you are amazing. You can even repair the earth soldiers. Master. Cut the crap. Not a penny less. The person who entered the door was embarrassed. He stopped talking and took out his weapon to let Suyu start to repair it. Vanguard Unit, Main General Unit. At this moment, General Chao looked at the generals under him. He took off his black armor and revealed a slightly pale face. He looked very young and his face was a little cold. After looking around, General Chao said lightly, the vanguard unit has suffered heavy losses these days. General Qin has gone to the main camp to seek help. He hasn't returned yet. I'm afraid it's difficult to get reinforcements. Below, a woman with a scar on her face sneered, the headquarters can't wait for all of us to die, so why would they send reinforcements? General Qin is asking for humiliation. The woman looked very cold, and as she spoke, she didn't have a good impression of the headquarters. After saying that, she said coldly, we don't need their help, just fight. Fight to the death. Anyway, they are a bunch of sinners, so they will die no matter where they die. General Chao glanced at her and said calmly, as a vice-general, I still hope that some people can return alive. Return to the human realm alive. Live without guilt, live in innocence. General Chao looked at everyone and said again, I've already asked for orders from the headquarters. Now that the war is intense and endless, everyone's sentence has been cut in half and their treatment increased by 30%. As soon as these words were said, Hongdu, who was beside the woman, asked, General, can the higher-ups agree? General Chao was silent for a moment before replying in a deep voice, they will. If they don't agree, then they will be sending everyone from the vanguard army to their deaths. Sooner or later, they will die. There is no need to continue fighting. There are still brothers who want to return alive. Speaking up to this point, General Chao did not continue speaking about this and said in a deep voice, we need reinforcements now, including the Earth Army Division, alchemists, divine talisman masters, beast tamers, and all of these are very rare. Didn't we capture a quasi-Earth division? That woman suddenly revealed a smile. The scar on her face was like a centipede crouching on the ground, looking a little ferocious. That guy is not old and has a lot of potential. It's only a matter of time before he becomes an Earth division. Just keep him. General Chao shook his head. We can't force him to stay. That guy has the support of several suns and moons behind him. If we force him to stay, it's a grudge. There's no need for that. He didn't mention Su Yu anymore, he said again, this gathering of everyone is all incidental. The key is something else. Today, many human realm geniuses have entered the heavenly battlefield. Similarly, on the Sea of Desire plains opposite the Eastern Rift Valley, there are also many geniuses from various races gathered. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1562 1562 Chapter 356, Narrow-mindedness 2. He said in a deep voice, what the higher-ups mean is that they want us to defend the Eastern Rift Valley well. A portion of the geniuses might cross the Eastern Rift Valley and participate in the hunt for the geniuses of the 10,000 races. We will be a lifeline. We can make the geniuses retreat quickly and return to the territory of the human race. The moment these words were said, the woman said coldly, this trick again. It's the same every time. For the sake of those so-called geniuses, there would often be some fellows who would provoke strong enemies and cause trouble that they were unable to resolve. They would all retreat back to the East Rift Valley. For the sake of these geniuses, the vanguard army has lost countless experts in battle. Why do we have to wipe their asses every time? The woman was dissatisfied. General Chao said softly, this is an order. In the eyes of the higher-ups, all of us together might not be as important as a few geniuses. Stop complaining. This is an order. I only hope that those fellows don't cause too much trouble. The most important thing is that we still hope that they can hunt down more geniuses of the 10,000 races on the other side and not be hunted down by others. Tisk. The woman sneered, suit yourself. It's best if you die outside the East Rift Valley. Then it has nothing to do with us. General Chao did not say much. He gave a few words of advice to everyone and soon told them to leave. After everyone left, he left Hongdu. After thinking for a while, he said, that Chui Lang was preparing to cross the East Rift Valley. Yes. Remind him that it hasn't been peaceful there recently, and it's not like the past. General Chao chose to say a few more words. He has repaired more than 10 high-level soldiers for us in the past 2 days, and the reward isn't much. Remind him that if he insists on going, give him a detailed map of the Arai Plain and a list of the geniuses of the 10,000 clans who might cross the border. Understood. General Chao thought for a moment and said, give him a few locations for the rescue points. If he encounters trouble, he can go and ask for help. The vanguard army doesn't owe him a favor. Yes, General. Hongdu responded and quickly said, General, aren't you going to dissuade Cui Lang? No need. Geniuses are all unruly. Only when they suffer a little will they know that the heavenly battlefield isn't a place where they make a name for themselves, but a place where they lose their lives. General Chao casually said, finally, he said, when tomorrow ends, he will be leaving. Ask him to repair a few more combat weapons. Doesn't he like blood essence? There are still quite a number of strong race blood essence in the warehouse. Send them all to him. Let him stay up all night to train his soldiers. Yes. Hongdu quickly retreated. Very soon, Su Yu received a batch of blood essence sent by Hongdu. He originally wanted to not forge soldiers at night, but he had no choice. The other party had given him too much, and Su Yu had never used some of the blood essence before. Seeing that he had given him too much, he decided to start forging soldiers at night. He stayed up all night and started working. One by one, he repaired the war weapons. During this period of time, small-scale battles broke out in the East Rift Valley, but Su Yu did not care. As for the matter of the geniuses crossing the border, many people gathered in the Sea of Desire Plains on the other side of the East Rift Valley. Su Yu also knew about this, including the humans. A large number of geniuses also crossed the East Rift Valley and headed over there. It's only fun when there are many geniuses. Su Yu thought about this as he forged a weapon. As for Hongdu's reminder, including the few rescue points that he had been given, Su Yu silently noted it down and didn't say anything else. If he really encountered a strong enemy, he might still need to ask for help. After forging for 3 days, Su Yu helped repair most of the weapons that the vanguard battalion needed to repair. On the 3rd night, Su Yu didn't leave. Instead, he began to forge weapons for himself. He wanted to forge a pair of Earth Soldier shoes for himself. It would be best if he could comprehend a speed divine text or something like that before leaving. At this moment, he was no longer helping others repair their weapons. After repairing all sorts of weapons continuously for a few days, Su Yu now had a better understanding of the art of weapon forging. The Quake Divine text, including the God Expanding Hammer, had improved quite a bit. As the weapon forging began, Su Yu began to forge weapons by himself. This night, the clanging sounds were incessant. No one came to disturb him. Su Yu had said that he would no longer help others repair their weapons. Now that he was going to forge weapons for himself, disturbing a weapon forging division's weapon forging was obviously not a good choice. When the sky lit up, Su Yu's face was filled with exhaustion. The pair of boots in front of him already had 72 golden patterns. Even if I succeed in forging earth weapons are also trash and consume a lot of energy. Perhaps I can try forging 72.5 inscriptions to forge half-earth weapons. The energy consumption will be smaller, and the difference won't be too big. Su Yu calculated in his heart. However, such half-earth weapons were sometimes harder to forge than real earth weapons. Su Yu had some experience, because Zhao Li had forged this kind of half-earth soldier in the past. The last time Zhao Li forged a soldier, Su Yu had seen it from beginning to end. If he could successfully forge it this time, then Su Yu's weapon forging skills would be able to catch up to the time when Zhao Li forged the Earth Soldier. He busied himself for a long time until the sky was completely bright. A pair of boots had been forged. There were number 73 golden patterns, only 72. However, the 73rd one had a vague outline and was much stronger than the average peak of the mystic rank. Su Yu quickly refined the boots and a pair of long boots appeared under his feet. His figure moved at a very fast speed. It's at least 30% faster than before. Su Yu was secretly delighted. As for the fact that he did not forge an Earth soldier, that was not important. If he really wanted to forge an Earth soldier, it would actually be troublesome for him to use it now. It would consume too much energy. 30% faster. This speed, even if he didn't use the divine script in time, wasn't any weaker than some 7th-level Lingyun cultivators. With time, he might be able to compare with the mountains and seas. It would be best if he could draw another, fast, divine script or spatial divine script. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1563. 1563 Chapter 356, Narrow-mindedness 3. Unfortunately, up until now, Su Yu had only sketched out a slow character. It seems like it's already July. Today seemed to be the 1st of July. He had been in the heavenly battlefield for quite some time, but Su Yu had yet to leave the East Rift Valley. This was unacceptable. It's time to leave. His father had seen it, his teacher had seen it, and the weapon had been forged. Other than the failure of the divine inscriptions, he had achieved everything else. At this moment it was time for him to leave the East Rift Valley and experience the true celestial battlefield. Master Cui, are you really going to the Sea of Desire Plains? Outside the vanguard camp. Hongdu's face was filled with regret and worry. It was a pity that the other party couldn't stay behind. He was worried that if the other party were to die, it would be difficult for him to find someone to repair his broken weapon in the future. Yes. Su Yu chuckled and said, it's just a small matter. I'm just going to look for a few materials. Why don't we get someone to look for them? Master Cui will rest here. You guys? Su Yu said indifferently, forget it. You guys can kill people, but you can't look for things. I've checked the Yuhai Plain. There are things that I need. Master Cui, it's really dangerous over there. Hongdu reminded him again, just last night, the scouts of the Vanguard Army sent news that the Heaven Hunting Pavilion's yellow list has lost a few people in the past few days, and Master Cui is also on the yellow list. I'm on the yellow list? Hongdu thought he was afraid, so he hurriedly said, yes, Master Cui is on the yellow list, ranked last. Looking down on me? Su Yu was furious. Hongdu was dumbfounded. You still want to be listed? Su Yu laughed. Last place. I got it. I'll leave first. After saying that, he did not communicate with him anymore and left. In front of him was the incomparably huge East Rift Valley. Behind him was the huge East Rift Mountain Range. After crossing this valley, one would be out of the territory of the human race. Master Cui. Hongdu watched him leave and felt a little helpless. He left really quickly. You are just a weapon forger, and you really want to go? Aren't you afraid of death? Do you really think that you are very powerful when you have just entered Ling Yun's territory? For a guy like you, it wouldn't be difficult for him to kill you when he has met some geniuses. After a moment, General Chao appeared on the spot. General. Hongdu hurriedly said, he didn't listen to my advice and left very quickly. General, I wasn't able to stop him. General Chao nodded slightly and looked in the direction where Su Yu had disappeared. A moment later, he said, let him go. I don't think he's too worried or afraid. He's rather eager to try. Perhaps he has some real ability. After he finished speaking, he didn't say anything more about Su Yu and shouted, all troops, be on alert. Don't let the enemy cross the East Rift Valley. Behind them, in the Vanguard Army's camp, many experts broke through the air and took their positions. These days, they would most likely welcome another great battle. The Sea of Desire Plains was in chaos, and geniuses from various races had fallen. Some of the Tao protectors of the geniuses were now frantically seeking revenge. On the other side, it was a mess. They had to prevent them from taking the opportunity to kill their way into the human realm. At this moment, Suyu had an extremely relaxed expression. They had left the sphere of influence of the human race. In the territory of the human race, it was actually quite depressing. He didn't dare to go all out. Moreover, some people couldn't be killed. On the other side of the East Rift Valley, anyone could be killed. As long as you didn't know them, you could kill them. Even if you killed them, no one would find trouble for you. This was the hunting ground for geniuses. No one would be surprised if anyone died. A huge mountain range was right in front of them. After crossing this mountain range, they would reach the High Plain. As they flew, a figure appeared not too far away at an extremely fast speed. He flashed and disappeared in a flash. Suyu ignored him. In the next moment, that figure suddenly stopped and returned. A moment later, a young man looked at Suyu. He asked in a strange manner, "Cui Lang from the Daming Manor?" Suyu glanced at the other party. He did not recognize him and nodded slightly. "A weapon forging master dares to come here. Are you courting death?" The young man shook his head. "Go back as soon as possible," he said. "Take it easy." In the past 2 days, the Sea of Desire Plains was in chaos. Even Huang Ting of the Great Xia Mansion was hunted down and fled in all directions. Wuxia of the Great Xia Mansion was almost killed by someone. "You, a weapon-forging master, dare to come here even though you have just entered Lingyun." Suyu's heart stirred. Huang Ting and Wuxia. These two aren't weak, right? They came here too. Were they hunted down? Yes, in order to soar into the sky, Wuxia had bitten a demon genius to death. Now, that fellow's brother has brought people to take revenge on them. They've fought several battles in the Sea of Desire Plains. As he spoke, the young man quickly said, "I want to go and take a look as well. Cui Lang, it's best to leave this place as soon as possible. I won't waste any more time with you." As he finished speaking, the young man flashed and disappeared on the spot. Suyu shouted, "Who are you, sir?" "Song Yi from the Great Song Manor." Suyu did not say anything else. He knew this person. He was a genius from the Great Song Manor and was also on the 4th roll. It seemed like he was there to join in the fun. Wuxia, Huang Ting. Suyu was a little surprised. He had just arrived when he heard the news of these two. He had heard of Huang Ting's name countless times over at the Great Xia Manor. This fellow was ranked first on the Earth roll. In the end, he had also met with trouble. He was being pursued by someone. This place was really dangerous. Even at this moment, Suyu did not dare to say that he would definitely be able to win against Huang Ting. Of course, if he lost. Suyu did not feel that he would definitely be inferior to Huang Ting even if he did not exchange blows with Huang Ting. After flying for another 10 li. After passing through the mountain range just now, a new scene appeared before his eyes. A vast plain. After the eastern split mountain, there was a vast plain. Vaguely, they could see some cities or towns. They did not know who lived there. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1564. 1564 Chapter 356 Narrow-mindedness 4. He did have a map, but it did not explain the origins of these cities and towns in detail. Hongdu only reminded Suyu that some cities were resting places. If he really encountered danger, he could enter the city to hide. Of course, there was also a huge danger in the city. He should not enter the city rashly. Sea of Desire Plains. Suyu sensed it. Yuan Qi was very dense. Cultivating in this place was much stronger than cultivating in the human realm. This place is no longer the territory of the human race. Just as he was thinking, a huge flying demonic beast was rapidly approaching him from afar. In the next moment, a person covered in blood-red armor swept his willpower over from the flying demonic beast. Su Yu frowned slightly. The armored man glanced at him and said in the universal language of the heavens, "Human. Is this your first time here? Human brat, you've been recruited. From now on, you're a captive of heaven-destroying city." Su Yu was stunned. What was going on? "I've just come out of the mountain, and I'm already your captive." This fellow was not weak. He looked like he was at the 7th level of Lingyun realm. The flying-type demonic beast under him was also at the Lingyun realm. Su Yu was not too worried. He asked curiously, "Heaven Destruction City?" "I've read some records. Heaven Destruction City is at the west side of the Arai Plain. It's close to the central war zone, and it's here to capture captives." The armored man said coldly, "Kid, didn't the human experts teach you to respect the experts and the rules here? Here, even the eternal experts of the human race can't interfere. You're my captive. Come here quickly." Su Yu found it strange. This city existed in Heaven-Destroying City. The key was, why did you want to capture a captive when you met him? What's the use of capturing a captive? Do you want to die? Bang! As soon as he finished speaking, Su Yu disappeared and smashed his hammer down. With a boom, the armored man disappeared on the spot, and the huge bird under him was knocked unconscious. It fell down with a bang. Not far away, the armored man was shocked. "How dare you? How powerful!" Su Yu's strike caused the bird to fall down. He looked at him with a strange expression and said, "What race are you from? You ran quite fast. Arrogant." The armored man shouted in a low voice and quickly disappeared on the spot. Su Yu's feet moved, and the spot exploded with a bang. Su Yu had only taken a few steps back when he felt a sense of danger. He quickly turned his head and with a pfft sound, a steel thorn brushed past his ear. With a pfft sound, a powerful corrosive force came corroding over. The armored man completely disappeared. In the blink of an eye, Su Yu felt a little dizzy. It was poisonous. Holy shit. I just arrived and I already met a powerhouse. No, could it be that this place is filled with such powerhouses? It feels very formidable. This fellow is a fighter, right? He has quite a few tricks up his sleeve. Su Yu raised his large hammer and swept his surroundings. With a boom, he hammered the armored man out. On the induction jade, that fellow couldn't hide from him. Just as he hammered the other party out, Su Yu was about to strike ruthlessly when his vision blurred. It was an illusion. A civilized master. Su Yu was startled. He had just arrived, and he already met a civilized master. His blood word burst forth and instantly broke through the illusion. Eh? The armored man was somewhat shocked. He had already broken through it. In the next moment, the armored man stopped pestering him and quickly fled into the distance. It wasn't that he wasn't a match for the armored man, but there was no need for him to tangle with an expert. He was careful not to get picked up by others. He originally thought that this human was average and wasn't very strong, but who knew that the other party was quite powerful. The armored man didn't want to fight to the death with the other party either. On the other hand, Su Yu frowned and wanted to chase after him. However, the sensing jade started to flicker, and Su Yu cursed under his breath before swiftly flying away. A moment later, Su Yu appeared on the ground and cursed under his breath. Am I really that weak? He had only just arrived, and he already felt that he had encountered a small setback. The other party should only be at Lingyun's 7th level. Yet, in the instant that he exchanged blows with the other party, he didn't gain any advantage at all. On the contrary, he was at a slight disadvantage. Was he too weak? Were all the people from the celestial battlefield so powerful? At the same time, not far away from Suyu, a group of people were resting by a river. The armored man's figure flashed and appeared. There were a few other people who wore armor like him. Some of them saw him return. He smiled and said, "Red armor, where did you go to be so free and easy? Where's your mount?" "I lost it." The armored man replied and continued, "I met a human powerhouse." "What bad luck. Mountain Sea Realm?" His companion smiled. "It's not bad to meet a mountain sea without any injuries." "No." The armored man shook his head. "It's not a mountain sea. It's just Ling Yun. It's not Huang Teng and the others. There are quite a few human geniuses. I've never heard of this guy before. He almost knocked me out with his hammer." "Hammer?" The others looked at each other. They weren't too sure which genius used a hammer. As for Cui Lang, who was ranked last on the yellow roll, he only said that he was a weapon forging master. No one thought about him. Suyu felt that he was unlucky and weak. This red-armored man felt that he was unlucky. He was at the 7th level of the Lingyun realm. He was a genius powerhouse on the Xian roll and had killed an existence at the 9th level of the Lingyun realm. He had also fought with Shanhai before. Even though he didn't kill those at the 1st or 2nd level of the Lingyun realm, he was able to escape unscathed. However, he ended up meeting a weak Lingyun. He was knocked out by the opponent's hammers a few times and had no choice but to leave quickly. He was depressed. "Red armor, do you need our help?" "No." Red armor refused. "Don't worry about that guy. The one we need to deal with now is not him, but that baby dragon." Red armor said faintly, "The dragon race is the best choice as a mount. That baby dragon will soon advance to the mountains and seas realm. If we capture it, we will soon have a mountain and sea dragon mount. We don't have enough manpower. The dragon clan is strong to begin with, and that fellow is a member of the Golden Dragon clan of the Dragon clan, second only to the Heavenly Dragon clan. It won't be easy to deal with." Hong Kai nodded. It was easy to deal with, so there was no need to go through so much trouble. He wanted to capture a few captives in order to lure the dragon whelp into a trap. "It's fine. Let's capture a few fellows as bait. This dragon whelp shouldn't be out of the dragon world for long. Perhaps we can poison it to stun it." As for Suyu, he wasn't weak at all. "Forget it, I'll stop capturing him so as not to ruin my plans." He didn't pay too much attention to what he had just encountered. In the Sea of Desire Plains, he had met someone, and even after a battle, he hadn't suffered any losses. That wasn't a problem at all. Everyone should just go about their own business. Hong Kai didn't mind. On the other hand, Suyu did mind a lot. He was extremely depressed. F***CK. Just as I came out, I was beaten up by someone. Although it didn't seem like I was at a disadvantage, I was beaten up for no reason. Furthermore, the other party ran very quickly. He wasn't convinced. "I haven't even used my true abilities yet." Armored man. "You're dead meat." Suyu gritted his teeth. "I'm a petty person. This fellow is dead meat. I said it, no one can save you." His good mood was ruined in an instant. "Hairy Ball, smell the scent and catch up with that guy." Suyu shouted in his mind. The little hairy ball, who was sleeping soundly, yawned and woke up in a daze. The little hairy ball had been fine for the past few days and was sleeping comfortably. At this moment, when he heard Suyu's words, his little nose moved slightly when Suyu could hardly see it. He said, "To the left, the scent hasn't dissipated yet." Suyu did not waste any more words. He quickly disappeared into the void, turned into a gust of wind, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. That guy was dead for sure. He had come to the Sea of Desire Plains this time, and it was not a good time to go out. If he did not get rid of him, he would be in a bad mood. How could this be possible? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1565. 1565 Chapter 357 Chui Lang of Daming Mansion 1. On the huge plain, Su Yu quickly followed. The desolate land. He had just arrived and met his opponent, so he was still a little excited. Because he had just come into contact with that guy, Harry Ball was still very sharp in tracking. Not long after, Su Yu sensed that there was someone in front of him. He quickly concealed his aura, hid his tracks, and turned into a stream of water beside a river. In the river, the water flowed. Su Yu just followed the flow of the river and flowed downstream. However, at this moment, a faint sense of danger rose up. The calamity divine text jumped. Su Yu was shocked and quickly sensed. On the sensing jade, there was a clear light spot. Ling Yun. Peak of Ling Yun. The light spot almost overlapped with him. Su Yu's heart palpitated. There was a peak of Ling Yun nearby. At this moment, in front of Su Yu, in the water, in the body of a big fish, a tiny golden dragon suddenly opened its eyes wide and looked around the body of the big fish. There was a hint of craftiness and doubt in its big eyes. There was a faint sense of danger. The little golden dragon probed the body of the big fish for a while. It hesitated for a while and did not probe carefully. It was to prevent anyone from discovering it. At the same time, the big fish continued to swim downwards. On the shore, a few faint auras could be felt. As for Su Yu, his heart was palpitating. He had already discovered the big fish's existence. It was practically with him, right beside him. At this moment, Su Yu had transformed into water and activated the rotary turtle breath concealment technique. His heart was still trembling. What the F***ck? He had just arrived at the Sea of Desire Plains, so how did he end up encountering all these troublesome things? His revenge had yet to begin, and it was already very dangerous. What was the big fish beside him? Su Yu did not dare to investigate. He only knew that this fish seemed to have the strength of Peak Ling Yun. Moreover, he did not know what its exact strength was. Peak Ling Yun might only be at the realm. As expected, there were dangers everywhere. At this moment, Su Yu did not dare to move recklessly. He could only drift with the current. On the shore, Red Armor and the others were still discussing something. At this moment, someone among the group of people shouted, "Be careful. The concentration of vitality in the vicinity is increasing. Be careful that someone is lurking around." He was speaking in the universal language of the heavens. The person who spoke was also wearing armor. However, it was not red but green. At this moment, the green-armored warrior was holding a ruler-like object in his hand, and the color of the ruler was also changing. As soon as he said this, the armored warriors nearby gathered. The red-armored warrior was also there. When he heard this, he looked around and probed for a while before shouting, "Everyone, be careful. The green-armored warrior's fixed-element ruler will not change for no reason. There must be something nearby. Everyone, pay attention. Green armor, check again. How is the concentration of Yuan Qi?" The green armor warrior quickly enlarged the ruler and inserted it into the ground. The original color did not change much. Green armor frowned, took out the ruler and inserted it into the void. There was still not much change. Suddenly, he looked at the river and shouted, "A few people, be careful." With that, he aimed the ruler at the river not far away and inserted the ruler into the water. At this moment, the color of the ruler changed instantly. At the same time, beside Su Yu, the big fish exploded. A small golden dragon instantly shattered the big fish's body and soared into the air, clawing at the nearest person. Kill! On the shore, the red-armored group shouted loudly and exploded one after another, with continuous rumbling sounds. In the blink of an eye, the two sides were engaged in a fierce battle. The little golden dragon's voice was a little immature, and it roared, "I will definitely kill all of you." As soon as it finished speaking, it broke through the air, and a huge golden dragon shot into the air, disappearing in an instant. "Stop chasing!" Red Armor shouted loudly, stopping the other pursuers. He said angrily, "Damn it! This dragon whelp actually lurked to our side." Fortunately, Green Armor discovered it in time, or else we would be in big trouble. A dragon who was close to the mountains and seas, and could even fight against them, lurked beside them. If they had not discovered it in time and the other party suddenly rose up, many of them would have died. On the shore, more than 10 people quickly gathered. Hong Jia shouted, "Go, don't stay here. Damn it, this dragon whelp has its eyes on us. Find an opportunity to catch it. It's best to find someone to help." The group of people quickly retreated. In the water, Suyu was trembling with fear. Damn! This was too dangerous. He felt that he was pretty good. Look, he had even turned into water to track it. In the end, there was a dragon right beside him, hiding in the belly of a fish. He felt that it was not worse than him hiding. In the end, that group of people actually had a ruler that could sense the changes in the surrounding yuan qi. If this little golden dragon did not jump out, would he be discovered as well? Suyu felt inexplicably sad. I still want to massacre everyone. I was still thinking about my concealment technique, which is unparalleled in the world. In the end, it turned out that these people did not have a sensing jade, but they also had something good. That so-called stabilizing yuan ruler might not be very sensitive, but it might be able to sense the slight changes in the surrounding yuan qi. That would be very troublesome. Even if one's ability to hide was strong, once one erupted, there would always be some yuan qi fluctuations. The first to come is a troublesome master. Suyu continued to hide and did not dare to move. He, who had been a little proud before, instantly adjusted his state of mind. In this place, there were too many geniuses and too many treasures. It was better for him to keep a low profile. The dragon race that had just erupted, who was at the peak of Lingyun realm, was actually so sinister. It did not seem to be very big. Didn't they say that the dragon clan is very arrogant, like fools, and disdain scheming and scheming? Screw you! Suyu cursed in his heart. He no longer believed what was said in the book. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1566. 1566 Chapter 357 Chui Lang of Daming Mansion 2. This was called a fool. Even a small dragon knew how to lurk, hide, and ambush. The moment it sensed danger, it would immediately flee. It wasn't even prepared to engage in a battle. Are you telling me that such a dragon is a fool? Furthermore, those armored men weren't weak either. All of them were Lingyun. Lingyun was like a cabbage. Under the combined efforts of more than 10 people, the golden dragon at the peak of Lingyun didn't gain any advantage. The surprise attack failed and it escaped in an instant. As Suyu was thinking about this, he suddenly stopped his plan to show himself. In the blink of an eye, a small golden dragon flew back and looked around. With some doubt in his eyes, he suddenly asked, "Is there someone else here? I sensed your existence." The Water Spirit Clan of the Five Elements Clan. The golden dragon asked a few questions, but it was not too surprised that it did not receive a reply. It then said, "That was someone from the Black Armor Clan just now. This clan is very bad. They specialized in capturing powerful demon spirits to merge with each other. The Five Elements Clan also belongs to the Demon Spirit Clan. Once they capture you, they will also wipe you out. Do you want to cooperate?" The golden dragon asked a few questions with a hint of doubt. It still did not find any traces of the other party's existence, but it did have a sense of danger. After thinking for a while, the little golden dragon broke through the air and left. It was better to leave first. It was unknown whether its senses were wrong or the other party was too strong. Its senses were not clear. It could just run away. The little golden dragon left. As for Su Yu, he knew the origin of the red armor that attacked him. The Black Armor Clan. It was a very special clan. Its entire body was covered in armor. Armor was life, life was armor. Originally, Su Yu was still wondering what was underneath the armor of those fellows. Now that he knew, there was nothing. They were special armor. In other words, they were life forms that looked like armor. Su Yu didn't know much about this clan, but there were records of the human realm. They were also one of the top 100 clans, and they were good at combining techniques. For example, after capturing the little golden dragon, they could combine the little golden dragon with some special methods, and their strength would increase dramatically. It was said that the clan leader of the Black Armor Clan, an invincible expert, had captured an invincible demon spirit. There was no way to prove whether it was true or not. He only knew that once the other party combined, he was almost invincible in the Black Armor world. Even if the god, devil, and half-emperor went, he would not be able to gain any advantage. It was a very powerful race. Yes. Armored life form, first-class defense, combined combat method. Su Yu was puzzled. Did they have essence blood? He had never obtained the essence blood of the black armored race. Did they have essence blood? Strictly speaking, this race could be considered an ancient race. They had existed for a very long time. On the battlefield of the heavens, the top 100 races were considered independent. Of course, they had some cooperation with some powerful races, but they were not completely on the side of which race. Of course, they had some prejudice and fear towards the human race. This was because the human race could enter other realms without being suppressed. Black Armor Race, Dragon Race. The moment he entered the Sea of Desire Plains, Su Yu saw the experts of the two powerful races. They were both top 100 races. Strictly speaking, the dragon race was one of the top 10 races. The little golden dragon left, but Su Yu did not dare to be careless. He did not transform into water again. Instead, he quickly fled to the shore. Yuan Qi fluctuations, I can't believe they can still be detected. F***ck. Su Yu could not help but curse again. In this godforsaken place, not to mention a sneak attack, even concealing his whereabouts was difficult. He had many tricks up his sleeves. The first time he went into hiding, he was already defeated. Without further thought, Su Yu continued to chase in the direction where the black armored race had left. Anyway, he had his eyes on these guys. He was also very interested in the blood essence of the black armored race. Perhaps he could devour some and get himself a set of armor. Just as Su Yu continued to lurk and follow. On the plains of the Desire Sea, a small hill had been flattened by someone. At this moment, a group of people had gathered. A blood-red flame was faintly discernible on the forehead of the young man leading the group. His long fiery red hair draped over his shoulders, and his pupils were all black. At this moment, a mirror appeared in his hand. In his other hand, he grabbed a piece of bloody rag and used it to wipe the mirror. The mirror flickered, and in the next moment, a speck of light appeared on the mirror, somewhat dim. Huang Teng. The young man laughed. Beside him, another tall young man's eyes were burning like flames. Seeing this, he laughed coldly. Huang Teng is nearby. Wu Qi is probably with him. This B***tch actually dared to kill my younger brother. I won't let her off. The young man with the incipient devil mark on his forehead said indifferently, Mo or Ba, don't act recklessly. If these two are captured alive, they will be mine. Mo or Ba, the brother of the demon race that was killed by Wu Qi. When he heard this, he frowned slightly and quickly nodded. of course, if Brother Tian Duo wants to capture them alive, then we will listen to Brother Tian Duo. The incipient devil race was the ruling race of the demon race. Although Moerba's strength was not weaker than Tian Duo's, this time, he was begging the other party to come and take revenge. No matter if it was to kill or capture them, they could take revenge. Tendo ignored him and looked at the mirror again. Behind him, there were some other demon experts. In the mirror, the light spot was faintly discernible. Soon, it would be out of the mirror. Tendo shouted, "Go, continue chasing. Huang Tang is injured. Be careful that he returns to the human territory." Everyone followed him one after another. They were extremely fast, and in the blink of an eye, they disappeared on the spot. On the plains of the Sea of Desire, experts and geniuses from all over the world had gathered, causing chaos. This place was also the hunting ground for geniuses from all over the world. Those who dared to come here were all quite skilled. Wuxia, who was famous in the Great Xia Manor, wasn't too outstanding here. At this moment, he and Huang Tang were being pursued. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1567. 1567 Chapter 357 Chui Lang of the Daming Mansion 3. The other races were also fighting with geniuses like the Black Armor and the Golden Dragon. They were not purely targeting the human race. It was common knowledge that they were hunting geniuses from other races. In the dark, there were also some suns and moons. There were Tao protectors from all sides and some experts from all races who were harboring evil intentions. Unrivaled experts would never set foot in this place. This was a land of 3 ungoverned regions. If an unrivaled expert set foot in this place, the others would have to worry about whether or not someone wanted to occupy the Sea of Desire plains and push the battle line forward. Moreover, there were also some mysterious cities above the Sea of Desire plains. There were also experts in these cities. There were even some cities that were connected to the interworld passages of the ancient race. This was also something that caused the various factions to be afraid of. Suyu didn't care about all of this. Right now, he had his eyes set on that fellow from the black-armored race. Who asked them to attack him. Very soon, Suyu approached that group of fellows again. At this moment, the red-armored race members found another place to set up camp. Suyu saw them from afar. He saw that these fellows had buried something near the camp. It was probably a defensive array or something similar. They're really vigilant. Suyu had learned that none of the people who survived here were simple. They were really vigilant. The reason why geniuses could become experts was that they seemed to have some ability to survive. In the camp ahead, a group of armored people was currently devouring some flesh and blood. It seemed to be the flesh and blood of some fresh experts. Red Armor looked around. His armored eyes revealed a bright light as he looked around. Soon, he looked at Green Armor and asked, "Has there been any changes to the Origin Stabilizing Ruler?" Green Armor took out the Origin Stabilizing Ruler and sensed for a moment. He shook his head and said, "There's no change in the vicinity." The Origin Stabilizing Ruler's detection range was not large, but it could effectively prevent them from being ambushed. If they were too close, the Origin Stabilizing Ruler would be able to sense them. After Green Armor finished speaking, he asked, "Red Armor, are we still going to capture that golden dragon? That fellow might look small, but he's very vigilant and isn't weak either. Even if we join forces, we can only hope to kill him. Capturing him alive is very difficult. If we can't capture him alive, then kill him." Red Armor said calmly, "Killing this golden dragon will definitely bring rewards from heaven and earth. The rewards are still very great." The few of them nodded and didn't say anything else. As they spoke, Red Armor took out a golden talisman paper and glanced at it. He shook his head and said, "Over the past few days, quite a few yellow roll geniuses have died. That Huang Ting of the human race isn't weak at all. As expected of the fellow who entered the first place on the earth roll. Hua Mu of the earth fire demon race is dead. He must have killed him. Tian Duo of the Sure demon race is leading people to chase after him. Stay away from these demons. The armored warriors nodded. The demons were powerful, so it was better to stay away from them. As for the human race, they were also powerful. However, the human race was magnanimous. Some geniuses were powerful, but they weren't even stronger than the gods and demons. Moreover, the human geniuses were disobedient and scattered. The celestial race, the demon race, the dragon race. They are all here. We haven't seen anyone from the immortal race. The heaven hunting pavilion is also hiding in the Sea of Desire plains. Red Armor said a few words and quickly said, after we kill this golden dragon, we will return to the heaven-destroying city. Don't come here again for a while. Okay. The few of them responded. As they were speaking, Green Armor shouted, they are here again. Boom. As he was speaking, the figure of a small dragon in the air was enlarged countless times. Its tail swept over, and the surrounding formations appeared one after another. In the blink of an eye, they were all swept away. Kill. Creak. One by one, the armored warriors exploded with powerful strength and charged towards the golden dragon. The red-armored warrior could not help but curse in his heart. This young dragon was so vengeful. Last time, they only failed to capture it, but not only did it not escape. It even targeted them. It actually attacked on its own initiative. These armored warriors shuttled through the void and spread out in all directions, quickly surrounding the golden dragon. The golden dragon's large eyes were filled with coldness, and a dragon's roar shook all directions. Rumble. The earth cracked, and the armored warriors also trembled. The golden dragon roared, "You're dead. The Black Armor clan dares to bully my golden dragon clan. None of you can escape. Kill it." The red-armored warrior roared and a long spear appeared in his hand. The others did the same and formed a formation with their long spears. They quickly surrounded the golden dragon. At this moment, a black shadow appeared below the green-armored warrior. "We have to kill this guy." Suyu did not dare to get close to these people because of the origin stabilizing ruler. Now that these people were fighting and no one cared about the yuan qi fluctuations, he dared to sneak over. Suyu had to admit that this little golden dragon was very vengeful and was not inferior to him. Look, in such a short period of time, he had attacked them twice. The black-armored race really would not choose an opponent, but chose a group of people who liked to take revenge. He turned into a shadow and in the next moment, a gentle breeze rose and fell. Azure Armor was still unleashing his full strength, cooperating with the others to surround and kill the little golden dragon. Suddenly, he was shocked at first, but he immediately calmed down. It was a little strange. A sense of danger flashed past. He looked at the golden dragon. At this moment, the golden dragon was preparing to run away again. Azure Armor thought that the golden dragon was about to use its ultimate move, so he became more alert. The sense of danger was probably caused by the golden dragon. Just as he was thinking, Red Armor's eyes suddenly lit up, and he shouted, "Be careful." Just as he said that, a huge hammer silently appeared above Azure Armor's head. Boom! A sound that only sounded in his sea of consciousness was heard. His sea of consciousness was directly shattered by the hammer. Suddenly, a hand reached out from below and grabbed his leg. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1568. 1568 Chapter 357 Chui Lang of Daming Mansion 4. Dragging the green armor, he disappeared in the blink of an eye. Damn it! The green armor was taken away in an instant. The little golden dragon, who was about to run away, was suddenly overjoyed and spat out a long sword from his mouth. It was extremely sharp. With a puff, the long sword directly pierced through an armored warrior. The golden dragon swallowed it in one gulp. Its tail, which had been pierced by the red armor, was bleeding. However, it did not care about it and left in the blink of an eye. There was still an armored warrior's corpse in the dragon's mouth. It quickly began to chew, and very soon, it disappeared without a trace. As for the red armor, its expression changed again and again. It did not care about the little golden dragon and quickly landed on the ground. The armor's ears trembled as it shouted, "Chase!" The golden dragon was difficult to deal with. It had to catch up with that bastard from earlier. Damn it, it recognized who had ambushed its side. That human. It had actually been hiding nearby. When they were dealing with the golden dragon, the green armor that had ambushed its side was also an expert. In the end, it was still knocked out by the opponent's hammer and was directly dragged away. At this moment, Su Yu, who had burrowed into the ground, punched again and again, causing the armored warrior to continuously tremble. Fire burned, lightning struck, and the big hammer kept on striking. Gotcha! It was as if something had been broken. In a daze, the green armor's sea of consciousness was directly shattered by the big hammer, and he died here. At this moment, a small cloud quickly appeared above Su Yu's head, who had burrowed into the ground. Killing someone of a higher cultivation level. This green armor was also a 7th level Lingyun realm expert. However, its strength was inferior to that red armor. Even so, it was still a genius. After being killed by Su Yu of a higher cultivation level, it immediately received a heaven and earth reward. Su Yu raised his head to take a glance and saw the small cloud quickly drilling into his body. He sensed again and heard the sound of air breaking from behind. Red armor and the others were chasing after him. Bastard! Damn it! Human, you're dead meat. Red armor was furious. The heaven and earth rewards appeared. Green armor must be dead. Underground, Su Yu frowned. The small cloud quickly drilled into his body. He couldn't even block it. But fortunately, he sensed it. Su Yu complained. Trash. It was a small portion of Heaven Yuan Qi, about 3 portions of Heaven Yuan fruits. If it wasn't trash, what was it? The others would probably be happy, but Su Yu didn't feel anything. He didn't have any indigestion either. He absorbed more than 3 portions of Heaven Yuan Qi every day, so he didn't have much of a reaction to this Heaven Yuan Qi. His body's acupuncture points shook for a moment, and the Heaven Yuan Qi was almost completely absorbed. In his hand, the green armor turned into an armor in the blink of an eye. He was already dead, so Su Yu didn't waste any more words. He put it into his storage ring and quickly escaped. Earth escape, water escape. In the blink of an eye, he had left the man far behind. Su Yu's faint voice rang out, "That red-armored man, you've provoked me. Let's wait and see." Humph. In the distance, the red-armored man snorted coldly and continued to chase for a while. He quickly gave up the pursuit and looked at the others. He shouted, "Let's go and find the Celestials. We're being targeted." In the blink of an eye, 2 of them were killed. The golden dragon was staring at them, and the human was also staring at them. Damn it! They had to give up on their original plan to kill the golden dragon. Moreover, they had lost the fixed Yuan ruler of the azure armor. Now, they could easily be ambushed. Their clan had a good relationship with the Celestials. They had to find the experts of the Celestials to help them. In the blink of an eye, there were only 12 people left out of more than 10 people. 2 of them had already been killed. As for Su Yu, he did not follow them. He silently experienced it for a while before opening his eyes. A divine light appeared in his eyes. "I'll reward you with 3 portions of Heaven Yuan Qi for killing a random person. If I kill dozens of people in a day, wouldn't I be rich?" No wonder everyone likes to hunt geniuses. This azure armor is definitely not as valuable as the red armor. Even for him, extracting a portion of Heaven Yuan Qi would require close to 1,000 merit points. To kill a person, he was rewarded with 3,000 merit points. This was not even the Heaven Yuan Qi that money could buy. Other geniuses could not extract Heaven Yuan Qi. No wonder they liked to kill people. Moreover, the heaven and earth rewards were quickly absorbed. Very quickly, they were digested by Su Yu. Killing and cultivating here was much better than cultivating in seclusion. Su Yu sensed his surroundings, but there was no one around. Soon, he took out the green armor. Can this thing extract blood essence? This was the first time he had encountered it, and he didn't feel the presence of blood. Su Yu thought for a moment, and flames appeared in his hand, instantly burning the armor. The armor was quickly burned by him. Gradually, it began to soften. Not long after, a drop of green liquid appeared. Su Yu's eyes flickered. Was this the blood of the black-armored race? The blood of many races was not red. Including some races, it was hard to say whether they had blood or not. For example, Little Hairy Ball, Su Yu really wanted to get a drop of blood, but in the end, he did not know where to start. Is it poisonous? Su Yu was not sure if this green liquid could be drunk. After thinking for a moment, he immediately grabbed Little Hairy Ball and pointed at the green liquid. Come, have a sip. It's good stuff. No. The Little Hairy Ball refused. It didn't want to eat it. It was so smelly. Take a sip. It won't kill you. It can make you stronger. Hurry up. Su Yu threatened, if you don't eat it, you won't be able to eat anything in the future. The Little Hairy Ball's big eyes were filled with depression. It unwillingly took a bite of the green blood. A moment later, it looked like it was retching. It said gloomily, "It's not good." After saying that, it disappeared on the spot and once again entered Su Yu's sea of consciousness. Su Yu heaved a sigh of relief. As long as it didn't poison him to death. He no longer hesitated and continued to refine for a while. A drop of green blood appeared once again. Su Yu didn't waste any more words and directly swallowed it. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1569. 1569 Chapter 357 Chui Lang of the Daming Mansion 5. In the sea of consciousness, Little Hairy Ball suddenly looked towards the darkness behind him. It seemed to see a hint of gold, but it couldn't see it clearly. It wanted to go, but it smelled the fragrance and was afraid of being beaten up again. After hesitating for a while, the gold disappeared. Black Armor Clan, Level 7 Ling Yun. Race Skill, Armor Transformation, LRB Blood Essence Activation. Basic Origin Technique, Armor Refinement, Blood Essence Activation. Basic Body Forging Technique, Black Armor 27 Changes, Blood Essence Activation. Origin Chi 9 Changes Technique, Earth Armor Profound Origin Transformation, LRB Blood Essence Activation. Su Yu sensed the golden atlas. In the next moment, he swallowed another drop of green blood and instantly activated his armor transformation talent. In the blink of an eye, a green armor appeared on his body. Su Yu punched himself. With a boom, the armor emitted a muffled sound. Yuan Qi Armor. Su Yu pondered for a moment and frowned slightly. This was not a real armor, but a Yuan Qi armor. However, its defense was not bad. It could be used at a critical moment to protect one's life. Its defense is alright. It's comparable to a mystic rank armor, but it's somewhat useless. Su Yu shook his head. He had armor, and it was a peak mystic class 1. It was the set that Zhao Li had given him. This armor transformation talent skill was quite useful to ordinary people. It could only be said to be passable to him. Of course, if it was superimposed on the armor, its power would be even greater, and its defense would be even stronger. It's not a bad skill. As for other skills, Suyu did not have the mood to try them out. Whether it was the origin technique, the body forging technique, or the 9 transformations of primordial chi, they were all trash now. He had them, and they were very strong. After carefully comprehending them, Suyu was somewhat tempted. Was there any defense flaw in the armor? If there was, perhaps it could be used against the remaining armored people. The Golden Atlas provided him with 10,000 race cultivation techniques. Cultivation techniques might be secondary, but the key was still targeting. Finding the weakness of the other party's cultivation technique and studying it for a lifetime might not be as strong as personally experiencing it. After carefully comprehending it, Suyu fell into deep thought. Soon, he took out the ruler. This ruler was the origin stabilizing ruler. Suyu sensed it. It was a special weapon. It was extremely sensitive to Yuan Qi. At that moment, the origin stabilizing ruler was white. However, when Suyu poured some Yuan Qi into it, the color quickly changed. The white color began to turn black. It feels alright. However, I have the sensing jade, so it's a little useless. This thing had a very small sensing range. Finally, Suyu took out a golden atlas from Azure Armor's storage ring. He opened it and frowned slightly. Heaven hunting roll. He had seen this thing before, but it was not like that. It was just something that the Great Ming Embassy's head had casually copied. However, Azure Armor's atlas did not look like an ordinary roll, nor did it look like a copied one. Suyu sensed for a moment. It looked more like a forged weapon. He quickly checked and frowned in the next moment. Yellow List 347, Green Armor, Black Armor Clan, 7th level Ling Yun. Battle Record, killed 8th level Ling Yun. At this moment, Green Armor's name had turned black. That meant death. Suyu frowned. I just killed Green Armor. How did it become known so quickly? Even the list in Green Armor's hands had changed. What did this mean? It meant that this list was a set of sub-parent lists. This should be the sublist. The main list had changed, and these sublists would change very quickly. And Azure Armor's death, was it because Red Armor and the others had said it, or was it because the main list had sensed it? Heaven rank weapon. Suyu's heart moved slightly. The main list might be a heaven rank weapon. As for how he sensed Azure Armor's death, it might be related to the sublist in Azure Armor's hands. Just as Suyu was about to throw the item away, a line of words appeared on the sublist. Welcome to the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. This list is just an item similar to a voice transmission talisman. It doesn't have any tracking effect. All the experts on the 4 lists have it. The Heaven Hunting list was born between heaven and earth. The heavenly battlefields were born naturally. All living beings who enter the heavenly battlefields have their auras captured. They live and die. Suyu frowned. Voice transmission talisman. Go to hell. I don't believe it. He had studied voice transmission talismans before, and some of them had a location function. This thing might have a location function. It was not a good thing to bring this thing with him. Suyu immediately set this thing on fire. In the next moment, the list was burned to ashes by him. Heaven Hunting Pavilion. Heaven Hunting List. Suyu shook his head. These guys were endless. He did not know who was in control. At the very least, the person who transmitted the message on the list should be one of the people behind the scenes. He might have control of the main list. There might be some benefits to carrying this thing, but safety was still the first priority. Some of the experts on the list might have carried it, but some of the people who carried it might have been in the open, so they did not care about being located. Suyu did not want that. Suyu burned something and quickly disappeared. Not long after, the other people holding the leaderboard noticed some changes. Third on the yellow leaderboard, Cui Lang, Weapon Forging Master, First Level Ling Yun, Human, Genius of Daming Mansion. Battle result, killed a 7th level Ling Yun. The information was quickly updated. At this moment, many people were shocked. Cui Lang, Weapon Forging Master. When did the Daming Mansion of the human race produce a weapon forging master who killed a 7th level Ling Yun expert? Was it possible? Was it a coincidence? As for how they could quickly update the news and find out who was killed, many people had doubts. Later on, some people concluded that the heaven hunting list should be a peak heaven grade or even god grade weapon. It might have existed in the heavenly battlefield all along, but it had been discovered by the heaven hunting pavilion and used by them. After capturing the aura of the person who had entered, the heaven hunting pavilion's people went to extract some of the corresponding person's aura and input the information. The heaven hunting list would then be able to take the initiative to update and correct the news. Previously, Suyu had been tracking that person, and then a sun and moon had come. They should have extracted some of Suyu's aura and entered it into the heaven hunting list. Just like the 100 Dao Pavilion, before entering, he would enter his name. After that, he would naturally correct the information and calculate how many levels he had cleared. And all of this, Suyu did not pay attention to it at this moment. He did not take this list, so he naturally did not know about all of this. Being careful was not a big mistake. Who knew if there was anything mysterious in this list? At the same time, in the vanguard army, General Chao also had a list in his hands. He picked it up and looked at it with a strange expression. Cui Lang. How long had this fellow been gone? One day. He had already killed a 7th level Ling Yun. Since when did the weapon forging division of Daming Manor become so good at fighting? Cui Lang, third on the yellow roll, he's just a little old. If not, he would have entered the profound roll or the earth roll. General Chao had a look of surprise on his face, but he was also a little helpless. The weapon forging division of Daming Manor was already so ostentatious when they entered, and they had to be careful of being surrounded and killed. How could they go all out to kill people the moment they entered? He didn't know if they were in a serious condition now. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1570. 1570 Chapter 358, Heroes Gathering in the Heavens 1. On this day, the name of Cui Lang of the Great Ming Mansion was officially unveiled to all the clans in the heavens for the first time. As for the previous ranking of 360, no one paid much attention to it. A weapon forging master was very important, but most of the time, the heaven hunting list still depended on one's combat strength. And now, he had instantly entered 3rd place on the heaven hunting list, instantly attracting the attention of the entire genius realm. Cui Lang. This name was widely known at this moment. He had killed someone 6 levels higher. He had not killed an ordinary person, but a genius from the Black Armor clan. Killing a genius was completely different from killing a mediocre genius. If he had killed a genius like the Red Armor clan, Suyu might have been able to enter the profound list this time. If he had killed a genius from the God and Demon clan, he would have directly entered the Earth list or even the Heaven list. Even if he was at the 7th level of Ling Yun, he would still have to look at the 7th level. At this moment, Suyu was still pursuing him. He was very vengeful. In a place where there were no rules, he would definitely seek revenge for the smallest grievance. He was already able to restrain himself in the human realm. In this place, he did not want to restrain himself. As for whether the Black Armor race had a Dao protector or not, it seemed like they did not have one at the moment. Under normal circumstances, Dao protectors only existed for those geniuses who had entered this place for the first time, giving them a period of adaptation. After adapting, the so-called Dao protectors, including the geniuses themselves, no longer needed Dao protectors. They were here to become stronger, not to become Mama's boy. If it was purely for training and they were afraid of death, then these people would not come to the Sea of Desire Plains. Training anywhere was safer than here. To be reborn in adversity and grow up in crisis was also one of the principles of the myriad clans in nurturing geniuses. A strong person who was protected all the way up was not considered a strong person. How could he be considered a strong person if he did not even feel a sense of danger? No one was invincible because they were supported all the way up. Any invincible person would have experienced a great disaster and a life-and-death crisis when they were still weak. Cui Lang. In a forest on the Sea of Desire Plain, Huang Teng picked up the list and took a look. He smiled, he said calmly, Cui Lang from Daming Prefecture, I've seen this person before. He doesn't have the demeanor of a powerhouse. How can he be ranked third on the yellow list? Is he even higher than you, Wuxia? I don't believe it. He said it with confidence, but he didn't believe it. This Cui Lang was either fake or had been possessed by someone. In any case, it couldn't be the Cui Lang that he had seen before. It was absolutely impossible. The pride and confidence that came from a genius was not the same type of person. He had seen it before and confirmed it with his eyes. Huang Teng came from a commoner's family and had seen too many geniuses from wealthy families. He had also seen some geniuses who had risen from the commoners. Everyone was special and had their own unique marks. Cui Lang was a prodigal, but he was definitely not a ruthless person. He could not be ruthless enough to enter the Sea of Desire Plains. He could guarantee this. Unless, this person had really suffered a major blow and had changed his mind. He had charged into the Sea of Desire Plains with an indomitable conviction. There were such people, but they were too rare. Not far away, Wu Lan's mouth was bleeding. She glanced at him and said indifferently, others need you to believe them. And I need you to prove me. What do you think? Huang Ting chuckled and said, that's true, Wuxia. You're right, but I think we might have to escape. Escape? Wuxia gritted her teeth and said coldly, you go your own way. Don't be with me. If Morba wants to kill me, he's not qualified. What are you saying? He didn't come alone. He brought the genius Tian duo from the incipient demon race with him. You don't have to worry about that. Wuxia snorted. She had her pride. If Huang Teng continued to follow her, it would be easy for him to fall. She had been targeted by Morba. Both sides had fought several times, and Huang Teng had been seriously injured. She had been injured as well. Of course, some of the demons had also been killed by them. However, now that they were heavily injured, if this continued, problems would arise sooner or later. They had to split up. She, Wuxia, did not want to owe anyone a favor. Even if she died in battle here, so what? Back then, she had dared to fight in the vicinity of the Eastern Rift Valley before she had even soared into the air. Moreover, it was not her first time coming to the Sea of Desire Plains. Here, the geniuses of 10,000 races were fighting. This was her battlefield. She had killed others before, but she did not regret it even if she was killed. The heavenly axiom was good for reincarnation, and those who killed would always be killed. She was already prepared to come here. Huang Ting smiled but did not say anything. He did not pay any attention to him. He took out a jade talisman and activated it. After sensing it for a while, he exhaled lightly and said, let's go. Cut the crap. They are coming soon. They are not going anywhere. After saying that, he smiled and said, I don't know if Qin Fang is here. If he is, join hands with him and kill those fellows. Wuxia ignored him and quickly stood up. After sensing for a while, she fled in a certain direction. Huang Teng shrugged and ignored her. He continued to follow her. As they walked, he smiled and said, there are actually quite a number of geniuses in the Great Xia Mansion, including Bai Feng, Xia Yuan, Lu Hong, and Hu Wensheng. Unfortunately, they are not of the same mind. Each of them has their own plans. The human race. Not to mention the various manners, even the same manners are not of the same mind. That's because you are incompetent. Wuxia did not even turn his head and said, if you really have the ability, you will naturally make everyone submit. If you don't have the ability, who would submit to you? That makes sense. Huang Ting nodded and smiled. That's right, so. I'm still not strong enough. For example, Bai Feng is a dead duck who refuses to admit defeat. I've beaten him a few times, but he still refuses to admit defeat. There's nothing I can do about it. Wuxia didn't say anything. After thinking about it, he found it a little funny. Bai Feng is just like that. He refuses to admit defeat. Even if he loses, he still refuses to admit defeat. It's very tasteless. Huang Ting laughed and stopped talking about Bai Feng. On the other side of the East Rift Valley. At this moment, another person was wandering around the East Rift Valley. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1571. 1571 Chapter 358, Heroes Congregating in the Heavens 2. Turning around to look behind him, Lu Hong's face was filled with regret. Why is there a need for this? I've already come to the heavenly battlefield, yet you still won't let me off. Didn't I just sell you guys a few 100,000 merit points? Is there a need for this? You can follow me here, but you can't kill me. Lu Hong was very helpless. Really, there was no need for this. It's fine if I swindled them. After all my calculations, I didn't expect these guys to really come looking for me. I can't kill them, but more importantly, they're really annoying. They follow me all day long. How am I supposed to cultivate in seclusion? Wherever I go, these bastards follow me. At this moment, a few mountain and sea experts followed from behind. Someone said coldly, pay back the money, then everything is negotiable. Lu Hong, think about it. Up ahead is the Sea of Desire Plain. You're considered pretty good in the Great Xia Manor, but here, you're nothing. Do you want money or your life? What money? Lu Hong said gloomily, you are robbing me. One is willing to fight and the other is willing to suffer. Why do I owe you money? I will sell the cultivation technique, and you will buy the cultivation technique. Is there a problem? The few of them did not say a word. No problem. However, they just wanted money, and they were not convinced. Moreover, this was the order of the young masters and young ladies of the few families. Even if they could not get the money back, they could not let Lu Hong be comfortable. They had to make him suffer even if he had money. They were going too far. They were treating their invincible descendants as fools. Yet, they really fell for it. This thing couldn't be publicized. They could only announce to the public that Lu Hong had cheated them of a sum of money in the black market. They wanted to collect the debt. As for how he cheated them and how he cheated them, that didn't need to be mentioned. Black market transactions weren't protected. Of course, on Lu Hong's side, no one provided any protection. They did not kill or hit you. They just followed you. What could you do? Lu Hong said gloomily, don't follow me, guys. We are all on the same side. Follow me again and I'll go to the Sea of Desire Plains. Let me tell you, the Sea of Desire Plains is very special. You mediocre mountain and sea talents will easily meet their Tao protectors. Geniuses meet geniuses. Mediocre geniuses meet mediocre geniuses. Be careful that you meet the sun and moon and get killed. You dare to go. Behind them, the mountain and sea said coldly, if you go and meet a genius, be careful of dying without a burial ground. Lu Hong, return the money. Hello everyone, hello everyone. The eldest miss said that if you really don't return the money, that's fine too. Go and kowtow to the eldest miss to apologize. That money will be your reward. Lu Hong said helplessly, to be honest, with so many merits, kowtowing won't be a problem. The key point is that your highness has gone too far. He even wants to record it. I should at least have some face, right? Forget about it in private. If this gets out, I won't be able to see anyone, right? Don't you think so? Shan Hai was also speechless. You really agreed to it. So you agreed to it without recording it? Shameless person. You still call this shameless? You want money, not your life, and not your face. Lu Hong, you go to the Sea of Desire Plains. What's the point of having more money when you're dead? Lu Hong thought for a moment and nodded. That's true. The point is, I don't have much money anymore. As he said that, he sighed and said, look, I bought a whole set of Mystic Pinnacle equipment, spending close to 100,000 merit points. I bought a storage ring, the blood essence of a deity, a few heaven origin fruits, a lot of words of will, and a large amount of vitality transformation pills. All in all, I spent a huge sum of money. I really don't have much money left. Brothers, why don't I give you a little? Don't follow me anymore. The few of them didn't say a word. Damn, he really dared to spend. How much did you spend on such a huge sum of money? Using the money of an invincible descendant to buy these things, he didn't hesitate at all. This fellow was much more daring than he appeared to be. Lu Hong said helplessly, forget it. It looks like you guys are determined to follow me. Then let's go die together. I'm going to the Sea of Desire Plain. With that, he flew through the air and quickly passed through the East Rift Valley. The mountain and sea realm cultivators looked at each other speechlessly. You guys are really going. The Sea of Desire Plain was very strange. The more talented and powerful one was, the easier it was to encounter them. Sun-Moon Realm cultivators could sometimes meet Sun-Moon Realm cultivators just by walking around, while Sky Realm cultivators could swagger around without meeting the sun and moon. The few of them looked at each other helplessly. Soon, someone said, we'll wait nearby. This guy doesn't dare to go deep into the Sea of Desire Plain. He'll come out soon. The few of them looked at each other and had a tacit understanding. Yes, they wouldn't go in. It was really dangerous over there. At this moment, geniuses swarmed into the Desire Sea Plain one after another. Su Yu, on the other hand, was determined that the Green Mountain wouldn't let up. I'm determined to be sure of you. Bastards of the Black Armor clan. How dare you bully me? He continued to track them. At the same time, not far away, a golden dragon was hiding in the clouds. It would pop its head out from time to time and stare at the people in front of it. Sometimes, it would even look around. It had some doubts. Was the person who killed the people before a human? Why did it feel that it was similar to the Five Elements clan? It was a pity that that fellow did not cooperate with it. Otherwise, wouldn't it be better to kill the other party together? This dragon was also sneakily looking around. Be careful. Those guys from the Black Armor clan were not to be trifled with. Underground. Su Yu had been following them all this while. Gradually, he got closer. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew past. The tone of the red armor changed. He no longer used the common language but the language of the Black Armor clan. He shouted, "Be careful, damn it. Everyone, keep your spirits up." He felt that someone was coming. Just as he was thinking, his vision blurred. It was an illusion. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1572. 1572 Chapter 358, Heroes Congregating in the Sky 3. Boom! With a loud bang, his Yuan Qi soared into the sky. The powerful Yuan Qi shook the illusionary realm. The blood-lettered divine text was already a Tier 4 divine text. The illusionary realm was getting stronger. Even when they released their Yuan Qi, they were unable to break through the illusionary realm. Red Armor shouted, "Armor transformation." Everyone began to armor. Rumble. The color of the armor on their bodies turned darker as their Yuan Qi became stronger. With a rumble, the illusion was broken. At the same time, Red Armor threw a fierce punch at his feet. Boom! The ground cracked open, revealing black soil. Red Armor's gaze changed for a moment as he looked around and said coldly, "That human friend, it was all a misunderstanding. Do we have to continue pestering him? The black-armored race and humans are not enemies." As he said this, Red Armor was shocked. He quickly broke through the air and thrust out his spear. In the air, a huge hammer was hammering down on him. The moment the hammer fell, Su Yu's figure appeared behind an armored warrior. He kicked out and the slow word burst out. The armored warrior only felt his vision blur and space and time slowed down. Even his will was in a trance. At this moment, the lightning word burst out. With a rumble, thunder exploded and the armor was charred black. Su Yu's foot stabbed into the armor and with a bang, the armor was torn into pieces. With one hit, Su Yu did not stop. He instantly disappeared into the ground and disappeared without a trace. In the clouds, the golden dragon was about to head down when Su Yu ran away. The next moment, Red Armor roared and threw his spear at the golden dragon. He shouted, "Kill this dragon." One man and one dragon, pincer attack from the front and the back. It was too annoying. He had to kill one before killing the other. Su Yu ran too fast and had too many methods. He searched several times but could not find any traces of the other party. However, he had actually found this dragon a few times. Kill. The armored warriors were also holding back their anger at this moment. They all transformed into armor. Their strength increased by 3 times and their defensive strength increased greatly. In an instant, they clashed with the golden dragon. The golden dragon cursed in its heart. He ran really fast. I haven't even had the time to go down yet. Cursing was one thing, but the other party had lost quite a number of people. It was not afraid at all. With a roar, its dragon tail swept through the air and hit the armored warriors until they were constantly sent flying. An incomparably sharp aura was emitted from its claws. Its front claws merged into one, grabbed a long sword, and began to chop. Dragons also knew swordsmanship. Crackling sounds of sparks could be heard, and sparks flew in all directions. Those armored warriors were also incomparably valiant at this moment, fighting with the golden dragon in the air. As for the red armor, while fighting, it was extremely vigilant to prevent the human race from launching another sneak attack. Fortunately, Su Yu did not launch a sneak attack at this moment. He would not believe this golden dragon. All the races were not good people. If he was careful, he would be trapped by them. If they surrounded him, then he would be finished. It was not like the enemy had never set up a trap to kill their opponents. I will kill my own. If this dragon wants to do it, then it will do it itself. Killing the second armored warrior did not give Su Yu any rewards from heaven and earth. However, Su Yu had a feeling that killing a few more of such fellows might give him a reward. These people were not as powerful as the green armor from before. However, in the heavenly battlefield, they seemed to have accumulated. At least Su Yu had a vague feeling that killing 3 of these guys might give heaven and earth rewards. The fight is really interesting. Su Yu was also watching the battle from afar. After watching for a while, he shook his head. They were all scammers. The dragon and red armor did not use their full strength. They were probably guarding against Su Yu. Su Yu was on guard against them. Naturally, they would be on guard against Su Yu. The two sides fought for a while. The golden dragon swept red armor away with its tail and left. Those people did not chase after him anymore. Red Armor quickly cleaned up the battlefield. He brought the remaining 10 warriors and rushed in a direction. As for Su Yu, he was not in a hurry. He was chasing while absorbing the Heaven Yuan Qi to temper his body. There was no rush. 14, 3 of them had died. Just keep running. I'll see if I can upgrade my divine prose while I'm chasing them, or if I can refine my body once more. The kill word divine prose was still at tier 3. Su Yu felt that if he killed a few more people, he would become a tier 4 divine prose sooner or later. Chase, run. The Golden Dragon and Su Yu continued to harass this group of armored warriors. Along the way, they ran and stopped. They also encountered some race geniuses. However, seeing that the black armored race was in a sorry state after being killed, these people all avoided them and left. With the addition of the red armor, the 11 armored warriors became fewer and fewer. After running for 7 to 8 hours, there were only 8 left. As for Su Yu, he had absorbed another heaven and earth reward and another piece of trash heaven vitality chi. This made Su Yu very speechless. I don't lack this. I lack willpower. You can even reward me with a big ball of willpower. It's better than this. After running for a while, the tribulation word suddenly flashed in Su Yu's mind. The sensing jade didn't sense anything. However, Su Yu didn't even think about it. He quickly flew away without any intention of stopping. In front, the red armor continued to advance. Its mechanical eyes were filled with anger. However, it was ruthless in its heart. Continue to chase. Later, I'll make you regret it. Just as it was thinking, a loud rumble sounded from behind. A golden dragon let out a miserable cry. A bloody scar appeared on its tail. Not far away, a white-haired man slashed out with his sword, causing another bloody scar to appear on the golden dragon's body. Celestial. The golden dragon roared. Without a second thought, it tore through the air and fled. The white-haired man frowned slightly. Just as he was about to strike again, he hesitated for a moment before giving up on this idea. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1573. 1573 Chapter 358 Gathering of Heroes 4. Red Armor quickly flew over and said, "Thank you for your help, brethren." The white-haired man nodded slightly, glanced at them and said indifferently, "The genius of the Golden Dragon clan, Long Wuyo, the grandson of the Golden Dragon clan's great elder. It's not good to kill it. Don't provoke it if you have nothing to do." Red Armor was slightly stunned and said, "The grandson of the Golden Dragon clan's great elder?" "Yes." The unbelievably handsome white-haired man replied casually, "I've already entered the mountains and seas. It's not good to kill it, lest I incur the displeasure of the Golden Dragon clan's grand elder. As for you guys, if you really want to kill it, it won't be a big problem. After all, he was much stronger than that guy. He was not afraid of killing it, but there was no need to offend an invincible state for the sake of the Black Armor clan. Yes, invincible warrior. The Golden Dragon clan was not weak. There were 2 invincible warriors, the first elder and the clan leader. Among the Dragon clan, they were second only to the Heavenly Dragon clan. There was no need to offend them. Soon, the white-haired and Min Tian spoke again. That human had a weak sense. He left very quickly. Before I arrived, he ran away and could not be killed. There was some regret and also some surprise. He came very quickly and hid very well. However, the moment he arrived, that guy disappeared. Red Armor said angrily, "Almost all of my brothers died at his hands." He was also depressed. And Mintian didn't care too much. It was no big deal if he died. Let's not talk about this anymore. And Mintian said indifferently, "Now, the demon race is surrounding and killing Huang Teng and the human races Qin Fang and Huang Teng. If we kill them, the human race's geniuses will definitely be disturbed. Come with me and surround and kill them. Brethren. Red Armor said with some hesitation, cooperate with the demon race? It's not cooperation. Mintian said indifferently, it's just taking advantage. If Tendo is at a disadvantage with the demon race, I don't mind taking advantage of them. Just follow me. Alright then. He had just been saved and freed by the other party. Now that Mintian had made a request, he couldn't refuse. After thinking for a moment, he said, Brethren, if we meet that golden dragon again, you don't have to kill it. Help me trap it. If I can capture it, after my clan armor forms, I can also possess the power of mountains and seas. I can help you a little more. Mintian thought for a moment and nodded slightly. That's fine too. As for killing an invincible descendant, he could just kill it here. Besides, he was the one who did it himself. As long as the black-armored clansmen weren't afraid, it would be fine. At this time, Suyu cursed in his heart. F***ck. Another expert had luckily escaped. He had seen the miserable state of the golden dragon. It was so miserable that its tail was almost cut off. Who was that white-haired guy? He quickly flipped through the information. After a long while, he found the description of this person. Mintian, second level of the mountain and sea realm, an expert of the ice-snow celestial race. He is good at swordsmanship and is ranked 6th on the earth roll. He killed an expert of the 4th level of the mountain and sea realm. 6th on the earth roll. Suyu took a look and pursed his lips. It was not bad for him to kill an expert of 2 lower levels. However, among the Celestials, he might not be the top genius. Of course, the 6th on the earth roll was not low either. It was good that he was not from the primitive Celestials. Mintian. Even if I go all out, with my young aperture half opened and the essence blood devoured, I might not be his match. Suyu sighed. To be able to kill a 4th level mountain and sea realm expert was still quite terrifying. Anyway, if he went all out now, there was a high chance that he would be killed. It was better not to provoke him. Damn it. Unhappy. He had been preparing to slowly wipe out the fellow from the Black Armor clan, but he had been disturbed by this fellow. If he didn't kill them all, it would still be very troublesome. Some of his methods had been seen by them. If this continued, he might not be able to react in time because it would take time for the news to spread. However, sooner or later, the matter of him being Suyu would be exposed. He had used all of his methods, including illusion, lightning, and Shiguang. Right now, these people did not think too much about it. But very soon, they might realize that something was wrong with him. Suyu did not mind too much either. Before his identity was exposed, he might run away or change his identity. After all, Cui Lang's identity was not that reliable anymore. If I can't kill them, I'll kill someone else. Along the way, Suyu also received some news. However, he didn't have any connections in the heavenly battlefield, so he only eavesdropped on some news. Huang Teng and Wu Qi were being pursued. He didn't really care about Huang Teng. After all, Wu Qi was Wu Lan's sister. If there was a way, he had to go and save her. Keep a low profile, don't be too high profile. Suyu secretly reminded himself to be more careful. Previously, he hadn't been able to kill those guys in red armor, which led to the risk of his identity being exposed. He had to get rid of them as soon as possible. He hoped that these idiots hadn't reacted yet. After all, not everyone knew about Suyu. He had never been to the heavenly battlefield. Only some top experts of the 10,000 clans knew some information about Suyu, mainly about cultivation techniques. As for the rest, those guys in the small battle might not care about it, not to mention telling the people below on purpose. As for Suyu's methods, they probably didn't know much about invincible. They definitely knew a few sets of cultivation techniques. 3 hours later. Suyu stabbed a tiger-headed demon to death with a knife and extracted its essence blood. He frowned and said, "The heaven hunting list can provide battle results on its own." Suyu frowned. Only then did he know that he was ranked third on the yellow list. My aura was captured and provided to the heaven hunting list, and the heaven hunting list shows Chui Lang's name. It means that it was entered by someone. In this case, someone might have captured my aura before. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1574. 1574 Chapter 358, Heroes Gathering in Heaven Break 5. Thinking back, he was probably captured in the human territory. At that time, he was chasing a person and the sun and moon were approaching. He escaped in a split second. It was possible that he was captured at that time. Is the captured aura the origin aura or the external aura? Suyu wasn't sure, but since it was Chui Lang, he had a general idea of the situation. The heaven hunting list wasn't as powerful as he had imagined. It could know everything. It was probably because the heaven hunting pavilion was observing who was qualified to be on the list. After that, they captured the aura and entered it into the heaven hunting list to make a record. Then, if this person killed some of the experts on the list, the heaven hunting list would catch some information. If that's the case, it's going to be a bit troublesome. Suyu wanted to change his identity, but this way, he could change his identity. For example, if he changed his identity to that of a demon, and that demon was killed on the list would show that the other party was dead. Even this impersonation couldn't be done. No wonder Xia Huyo told me that it's very, very difficult to impersonate someone here. It has something to do with the heaven hunting list. Who exactly is in control of the heaven hunting pavilion? This was very troublesome. For example, if Suyu pretended to be Huang Teng, even if Huang Teng was still alive and Suyu had killed someone, there would be no change in Huang Teng's battle results. On the other hand, there was a change in Chui Lang's battle results. That idiot also knew that he was pretending. Heaven hunting list. Suyu mumbled. It wasn't a good thing. Heaven hunting pavilion wasn't a good thing either. Unless he killed someone to silence them, he couldn't let others see who he killed, and he couldn't let others find out that he had new battle results. For example, if he pretended to be Huang Teng and killed someone, Huang Teng's battle results wouldn't change, but Chui Lang did. Everyone knew that it was Chui Lang who killed someone, but they didn't know that Chui Lang had changed his identity and killed someone. This name should have been changed by someone. Could it be that someone did not make it onto the list and their aura was not captured? Or could it be someone unknown? The other party does not even know who that person is. One by one, doubts arose in his heart. Suyu no longer thought about it. After killing this tiger demon, he managed to get some information. In the western Sky Break Valley, some people were gathering and preparing to surround and kill Huang Teng and the others. Suyu hated the Tiger clan very much. He could only blame the Cloud Tiger clan. That female tiger of the Cloud Tiger clan actually wanted to scheme against him. This made Suyu hate the Tiger clan. Sky Break Valley. Information about the Sky Break Valley appeared in Suyu's mind. Legend had it that the two invincible experts fought in this great battle. With a single slash, they split the land and formed a valley that was hundreds of miles long in this plain. Because it was an invincible battlefield, Saber Chi was still present. The valley was filled with danger. Suyu didn't think much about it. After thinking for a moment, he quickly changed his body shape and turned into a transparent water person. Now, he was a water person. Unless he killed someone and was noticed by the bystanders, few people would be able to notice that he had changed his form. The human race was a little sensitive here. The powerful races of gods and demons had all come. They were careful not to be targeted by them. Suyu had a good understanding of the water people after transforming into a water person. There were not many races of the 5 elements, so the possibility of encountering the same race was very small. As for the big hammer, he would not use the big hammer next time. It would be the same if he changed it to something else. The hammer was just more suited to his identity. He did not need the hammer. His divine literature battle technique was originally a knife. In the heavenly battlefield, Suyu was like a fish in water. In this place, it wasn't surprising for any race to appear. In this place, you could become whichever race you wanted to. No one would think too much about it, because 10,000 races could appear here at any time. Since the primordial god race and demon race had arrived, it wouldn't be a problem for the other races to gather. Suyu, who had turned into a water person, also traveled very quickly. A ball of water mist floated in the air and instantly arrived at another place. Along the way, there were also some experts rushing towards the Sky Break Valley. The human genius Huangteng and Wuxia were trapped in the Sky Break Valley by the demons. This news could be considered big news. Huangteng was the pillar of the younger generation of the Great Xia Mansion. If he killed Huangteng, the Great Xia Mansion would cry to death. Some races heard the news and moved towards that direction. Suyu was the same. He wanted to watch the show. If he could save them, he would save them. If he couldn't, then so be it. He didn't want to put himself in danger just to save them. He wasn't that great. If it weren't for Wuxia, he wouldn't have bothered to watch. Even if Huangteng was really killed, it wasn't his fault. The two sides weren't familiar with each other. At the same time, in a huge canyon, Huangteng looked left and right, he smiled and said, "It's okay, don't be afraid. This is the scar left behind by the great Xia Emperor during his battle with others. If you know how to use the heaven-splitting blade here, you'll be like a fish in water. Those guys want to surround and kill me here. Dream on." That's right, one of the scars left behind by the invincible state battle was the great Xia Emperor. With a single slash, he created a scar that was hundreds of miles long, forming the heaven-breaking valley. Wuxia, on the other hand, was a little depressed. He felt a little uncomfortable being suppressed by the heaven-splitting blade's blade aura. He frowned and said, "I said, you can leave now. Why do you have to follow me? Life is too boring. Isn't it good to challenge some things and have some fun?" Huangteng smiled and said, "Usually, we kill people in secret. Now that everyone has gathered here, we can kill as many people as we want. Isn't that happy? If you die, the Xia family will probably cry." Wuxia said calmly. Huangteng shrugged and smiled, "It's not that bad. The dead geniuses are not worth much. It's just that the Xia family invested a lot. Master Ho will probably cry. The loss is too great." Wuxia laughed. It was true. Master Xia Ho was probably going to cry. The great Xia family had placed bets on Huangteng. They had invested a lot, including the opportunity to cast their bodies in the Tianyuan sacred land. If Huangteng died, they would probably be heartbroken. Huangteng said indifferently, "Master Ho, just cry. There are many geniuses in the great Xia family. Just raise another one. I am not the only one." Wuxia said coldly, "The Xia family gave up a lot of people to invest in you. If you die, you'll be letting the Xia family down. I won't carry such a heavy responsibility." Huangteng walked while comprehending the saber chi. He laughed and said, "Everyone says that I'm second to Manor-head Xia, actually, I don't really like it. Usually, whoever is second won't have a good ending. I'm me, Huangteng." As soon as he finished speaking, the saber chi on his body exploded. It was incomparably powerful. Huangteng seemed to have some enlightenment as he said with a sigh, "The great Xia king is really strong. This saber chi, even after so many years, I still feel that it's stronger than Mansion Master Xia's." After saying that, he said, those who know how to use the heaven-splitting saber should come here and take a look. This was the move that the great Xia king used to kill Invincible with the intention of killing him. It's a pity that Invincible didn't die. Otherwise, this place would be a dead end. Wuxia ignored him. He wasn't a fighter. There were many people in the Heaven-Splitting Blade Association, but not everyone could learn the essence. Just because you learned a lot, it didn't mean that other people also learned. This guy was really too talented. At this moment, the geniuses in the outside world were gathering. Wuxia didn't care anymore. At worst, he would just die here. Huang Tang was very powerful. In the heaven-breaking valley formed by the heaven-splitting blade, if he died, this guy wouldn't be a burden. There was still hope for him to kill his way out. Wuxia didn't have to worry too much about him. With my death, my generation will be dependent on that silly lass. Wuxia thought helplessly. Forget it, it's better for you to do some research instead. It's pretty good. Even if the old Wu clan were to rely on you, there's probably no hope for them. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1575. 1575 Chapter 359 The Shit Stirrer 1. The Sea of Desire Plain. To the west was the Heaven Break Valley, and to the east was the Eastern Split Mountain Range. The Heaven Destruction City that Hong Jia and the others had mentioned was also to the west, near the Heaven Break Valley. At this moment, Hong Jia and the others, as well as Su Yu, were all converging towards the west. After passing the Heaven Break Valley, there was the Heaven Destruction City. After that, there was the Central War Zone, which was occupied by the demon race. The strongest demon race there was the dragon race, and the dragon race occupied the Sea of Stars. The most famous place in the Sea of Stars was the Starry Mansion in the central area. After crossing the Sea of Stars, one would be in the other war zones. The Sea of Stars was the center of the heavenly battlefield. Su Yu recalled these things in his mind. Heaven Break Valley. Su Yu was speechless. Huang Tang and the others really knew how to run. The East Break Valley was on the east side, and if you ran to the west side, you would run in the opposite direction. It would take a lot of time and distance to kill your way back to the territory of the human race. Was he courting death? Or did he have no choice but to run all the way to the west? The Yuhai Plain is very big. The distance from the East Rift Valley to Tianduan Valley in a straight line is more than 3,000 miles. Even for someone like Su Yu who maintained his combat strength, it would still take him almost a day to reach the distance of 3,000 miles. Ling Yun's speed was not slow. He was extremely fast in an instant, but he could travel for a long time. He could only cover 100 to 200 miles in an hour. It would be fine if he could travel faster, but it would consume a lot of energy. Once he reached a place, his vitality and willpower would be exhausted, and that would be suicide. Very few people would spare no expense to travel. At this moment, Su Yu's speed was not considered fast. There were also some small towns in the Sea of Desire Plains, and even some desperados who were moving around here. They were the type who did not care about their lives or money. As he walked, Su Yu's heart stirred. In an instant, a mound appeared in front of him. In the blink of an eye, a human figure was outlined on the ground. Brother of the water spirit race. The aborigine who had formed in an instant suddenly transmitted his voice. It was in the language of the five elements race. Su Yu ignored it and took a detour. The aborigine quickly followed and hurriedly said, "Brother of the water spirit race, our five elements race is one family. It's rare to meet someone of the same race. Are you still worried about me? Brother water spirit, are you going to Heaven Breaking Valley?" This fellow from the earth spirit race was extremely fast. Even though Su Yu had transformed into water, he could not shake him off for a moment. Instead, he was closely followed. After all, it was not an earth escape. On this land, the earth escape was more advantageous. Why are you following me? Su Yu was a little depressed. He did not really want to interact with others. After all, he was not from the real water spirit race. It was very easy to be seen through. Hydration was only the maintenance of innate skills. There was definitely a difference between it and a real water spirit. A family of 5 clans. The Aborigine hurriedly said, "Brother Water Spirit, are you going to Heaven Break Valley? It's still very dangerous there." "I think Brother Water Spirit has just entered Lingyun, right? I've never seen him before. Is this your first time coming to the Sea of Desire Plains?" Su Yu said sullenly, "Yes, I don't know you either. Don't come with me. A family of 5 clans is in the past. The Earth Spirit Patriarch and the Fire Spirit Patriarch have a good relationship. Our Water Spirit Patriarch and the Fire Spirit Patriarch are enemies. Water and fire are incompatible. Why are you following me? Brother Water Spirit, that's the matter of the higher-ups. It has nothing to do with us." The Aborigine continued to follow him and quickly said, "There aren't many 5 Elements clans in the Sea of Desire Plains this time. Since we've met, why don't we act together?" "No. Brother Water Spirit, don't be afraid. I'm really not a bad Earth Spirit. Our Earth Spirit clan is all good Earth Spirits." Su Yu cursed in his heart. "This is a dog skin plaster. And it's even bothering me. Do you believe that I'll kill you? You're also going to kill those 2 human geniuses?" Su Yu asked. The native's voice carried a smile as he said, "Huang Ting's strength is stronger than mine, so I can't kill him. I'll act according to the situation. Brother Shui, what about you?" "I'm going to kill gods and demons." This Earth Spirit was stunned for a moment. Very soon, he followed the ball of water mist in the sky again and continued to burrow through the ground. He asked curiously, "Brother Shui, you want to kill gods and demons? Why? Killing gods and demons will prove my strength." He was speechless. Su Yu continued, "Killing primitive gods and demons will make me stronger. If I want to fight on the heaven hunting list, I'll fight the strongest." It sounded so reasonable. The Aborigine complained in his heart. "You're a newcomer, yet you want to kill primitive gods and demons. How did your brain turn into water?" Su Yu was like a hothead as he asked, "What about you?" The Aborigine was somewhat speechless. After a long while, he said, "I see the situation. Coming here doesn't necessarily mean that there's a need to kill. Then you're trash." Su Yu said disdainfully, "If you're not here to kill, are you here to watch a show? Out of the 5 Elements clan, your Earth Spirit clan is the most cowardly. You have the nerve to criticize me?" The Aborigine once again ridiculed, "Brother Shui, are you really going to kill gods and demons?" "Yes, if you're afraid, then don't follow me. I heard that this time, a demon from the primitive demon race came. His name is Tian Duo. I want to kill him and become famous in one battle." Crazy. His brain had really gone crazy. Could it be that the water spirit race had cultivated their brain into a fog all these years? The Aborigine could not help but say, that Tian Duo is at the 7th level of Lingyun. The 7th level of Lingyun of the primitive demon race has unparalleled combat strength. Even the mountains and seas would find it difficult to match him. Huang Teng, who was ranked first on the Earth roll, was at the 5th level of Lingyun. He had killed the 2nd level of the mountains and seas, but he hadn't killed the powerful mountains and seas. And this Tendo was at the 7th level of Lingyun. The geniuses of the human race wouldn't be able to gain an advantage in a battle with gods and demons, not to mention the most powerful primitive gods and demons. The primitive gods and demons were actually half a level stronger than the humans. The 7th level of Lingyun was even stronger than Huang Teng. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1576. 1576 Chapter 359, Shit Stirrer 2. Even the highest ranked Qin Fong probably wasn't a match for Tendo. Su Yu was puzzled. He's very weak, right? Otherwise, why isn't he on the heaven hunting list? Brother Shui, are you on the heaven hunting list? No. The Aborigine had no strength to retort, don't you understand? Tendo just came out of the devil world and doesn't have any battle achievements. Soon, he'll be on the list. The 4 ranking departments of the heaven hunting pavilion should already be observing him. If he wants to kill Huangtang, he'll either be number 1 on the earth or an expert on the heaven hunting list. In short, you are too weak. You want to kill Tendo? What are you thinking? Your brain is really gone. Even the Aborigine was a little worried. Why don't I just leave? This guy's brain is full of water. He might have gone crazy. Is that so? Su Yu hesitated for a moment and said, then I won't kill Tendo. I will kill the gods and devils instead. You are going against the gods and devils. The Aborigine couldn't help but say, Brother Shui, I think if you want to enter the heaven hunting list, you should kill a few weaklings to accumulate your reputation. Why do you have to kill these large clans the moment you arrive? Killing weaklings is meaningless. Su Yu had been arguing with him along the way. He wouldn't scare you to death. Actually, he wanted to kill this Aborigine. However, this fellow had always been hiding in the earth. Furthermore, his strength didn't seem weak, giving Su Yu the feeling that he should be at the 5th or 6th level of Lingyun realm. If he was hiding in the earth, Su Yu might not be able to stop him. Furthermore, there were some geniuses in the surroundings who were rushing to the west. If they started killing on the way, it wouldn't be good if they were taken advantage of. Bumpkin, you should also be on the heaven hunting list, right? You seem to be very strong. Yes, I'm on the 12th level of the earth list. Oh. Su Yu replied, very soon, I'll surpass you. The Aborigine was speechless. He was now certain that this fellow was a pure newbie with some talent. However, he was extremely bold and fearless. Did he really think that he would be fine as soon as he joined Lingyun? What was he thinking? Even though the 5 Elements tribe wasn't weak, strictly speaking, a single tribe wasn't considered too strong. Of course, with the 5 elements combined, this tribe had 5 undefeatable members. It could be considered a powerful tribe with a high ranking. Such a tribe didn't have much of an advantage in the heavenly battlefield. Their only advantage was that their escape techniques were very fast. They were also relatively difficult to kill. The mist in the air continued, and the Aborigines were also fleeing underground. Sometimes, there would also be people in the surroundings. Upon sensing the 2 auras, they would quickly be able to tell which race they were from. They didn't interact much with each other, and it was very troublesome. The 5 elements race wasn't easy to deal with, and they were also very difficult to deal with. As for Su Yu, he was also depressed. This fellow had been following them all along, and it was very troublesome. If his identity was seen through, it would be even more troublesome. Disguise. He knew the other party's innate skill. Some powerful clans knew about his innate blood essence, but Su Yu had been maintaining it for too long now. This didn't quite fit the characteristics of his innate blood essence. As such, he didn't need the blood essence to be able to use the other party's innate skill. It would be very easy for some experts to see through him and target him. Due to this reason, Su Yu was more willing to travel alone. The reason why he had transformed into an aquatic human was to travel alone. As there weren't many 5-element clans, the probability of encountering one was very low. He didn't think that he would be able to encounter one as soon as he went out. It was truly a miracle. On the other hand, the Aborigine wasn't in the mood. It was too boring to travel. As he traveled, he asked, Brother Shui, you haven't said your name yet. Is Shui Bingyue from your water spirit clan here? I don't know. I don't know her. You don't know her. The Aborigine was stunned. What did he mean by you don't know her? She was the top genius of your clan. Su Yu did not pretend and said directly, is it strange? Why do you know Shui Bingyue? I'm a water race born naturally in the heaven and earth. I've only seen a few members of the water spirit clan. I've never been to the ancestral land. I've always been traveling alone. The Five Elements tribe was almost born naturally from heaven and earth. Of course, most of them were born in the Five Elements realm. In the Five Elements realm, there were some places that were extremely suitable for the birth of members of the Five Elements tribe. In fact, there were also some outside, but there were very few of them. Su Yu had also asked the water people about this, so he was not afraid of anything. I see. The Aborigine came to a realization. So it was wild. No wonder he had the attitude that he was the number one in the world. The wild water spirit probably did not know how strong a true genius was. Then, does Brother Shui know some of the water tribe's inherited techniques? No. Su Yu said disapprovingly again, it's enough that I know the innate techniques. Under the water transformation, only I can kill people. No one can kill me. F***ck, you're an idiot. The Aborigine cursed in his heart again. Why did I meet such a Five Elements tribe? I thought that at least it was Ling Yun who had a helper. Now, it seemed like this was a pit, a big pit. It's not strange for this fellow to do anything in the future. He hasn't seen the world and hasn't experienced any beatings. Don't drag me down with him. At this moment, the Aborigine was considering whether or not to run away. He felt a little embarrassed. He was the one who wanted to follow them just now. Wasn't it not too good to run away now? This was the effect that Su Yu wanted. Get lost as soon as possible. When this fellow gets lost, I won't pretend to be a water person anymore. This is too much of a trap. Along the way, he met even more geniuses. Su Yu could even sense the aura of mountains and seas, but he could not sense the sun and moon. In the distance, he could already vaguely see an incomparably huge canyon. Saber Chi was everywhere. Even from far away, he could still feel that power. The Aborigines did not think about it anymore. At most, they would split up later. At this moment, they sighed, there are still many powerful humans. As expected of the top 10 races. This strike of the great Xia Emperor back then formed the current heaven-breaking valley. Even now, its might still exists. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1577. 1577 Chapter 359, Shit Stirrer 3. The Great Xia King. Only now did Su Yu know that this was the Great Xia King's doing. He was a little surprised. Previously, he had only said that the two were invincible, but he had not said who it was. When he heard this, he immediately asked curiously, is the Great Xia King very strong? Very strong. The Aborigine's voice was filled with amazement as he said, one of the strongest humans, the Great Qin King, the Great Xia King, the Great Zhou King. The Great Xia King's heaven-splitting blade has killed countless experts. In the past hundreds of years, 2 unrivaled experts have fallen at his hands and died under his blade. This is the mark left behind when he fought with an unrivaled expert from the celestial race. It's a pity that he wasn't able to kill that unrivaled expert that time. Otherwise, Heaven Break Valley wouldn't be in this state. This was the first time Su Yu knew that 2 unrivaled experts had been killed by the Great Xia King. He only knew of one. Back when the 5th generation was killed, 2 invincible experts had died in the myriad clans. One of them had been killed by the Great Xia Emperor, while the other had been killed by the 5th generation. This old man was so powerful, but it was a pity that it was still so troublesome for his grandson to attain the Tao. The heaven-splitting valley left behind by the heaven-splitting blade. Su Yu's heart stirred slightly. This place was indeed a good place. Huang Teng had come here, so he had some ideas. He had seen how powerful the heaven-cleaving saber of an expert was. Back then, when he went to look for the corpse of Hierarch Jiani, he had experienced it once. Xia Longwu's saber chi was left behind. If it wasn't for the fact that he knew how to use the heaven-cleaving saber, he would have been killed by that saber chi long ago. Xia Longwu wasn't even invincible yet, but he was already so terrifying. His grandfather, the great Xia Emperor, was definitely even more terrifying. If he could activate some of the remaining heaven-cleaving saber chi in this place, there was a high probability that he could kill many people. Of course, Suyu knew, but outsiders did not know. As Suyu thought of this, he suddenly said, Huang Teng seems to be someone from the great Xia Manor. Did he come to Heaven Break Valley for some conspiracy? As expected, the Aborigines knew about this. They replied, of course. Therefore, the people of the demon race did not dare to investigate further. They were worried that Huang Teng would activate the remaining invincible blade chi in this place. Once it exploded, it would be troublesome. Without a perfect plan, Tendo would not enter Heaven Break Valley to search. Tendo can suppress the invincible saber chi. It's hard to say. The Aborigine explained, the incipient demon race definitely has some tricks. Moreover, Huang Teng might not be able to trigger the saber chi. Moreover, the invincible saber chi in this place has been here for hundreds of years. In fact, its power is not as strong as imagined. In a few more years, it might dissipate. While the two of them were chatting, an extremely charming woman stepped on the air from afar. She smiled from afar and said, "Is she a genius expert from the 5 elements race?" Suyu glanced at her and demonic chi spread out. A fellow from the demon race. As for which branch of the demon race she was from, he couldn't tell. The Aborigine hurriedly said, "Yes, you are. Blue Shadow from the fire-bathing demon race." The charming woman smiled and said, "The two of you, Tian Duo of the origin demon race wants to ask you for a favor. Get lost." Suyu directly scolded, "Help my ass. Get lost. You dare to block my way? Do you want to die?" Stunned. The Aborigine cursed in his heart. F***ck. I knew it. I shouldn't be with him. I'm dumbfounded. Why do I have to be with him? The blue figure was also stunned. His smile disappeared. "This fellow from the water spirit race, do I have a grudge against you? Wasn't the water spirit race a little more gentle? This fellow was from the water spirit race. Could he be from the fire spirit race?" Suyu said impolitely, "Scram. I can tell that you have malicious intentions from the moment I heard it. You joined forces with us to kill Huang Teng of the human race. After killing Huang Teng, you turned around and killed us. Who doesn't know about this kind of thing? If you have nothing to do, read more books. I don't want to be associated with the demon race. The reputation of the demon race is even worse than that of the human race. Don't think that I don't know what you are thinking. Go and find whoever you want to find to kill you. If you block my way again, Brother Tu and I will join forces to kill you. The 3rd level of Ling Yun is just right for me to try out my methods." The Aborigine fell silent and cursed in his heart once again. However, these words made some sense. It was too wishful thinking to kill someone by borrowing someone else's knife. The reputation of the demon race was indeed not good. As for Suyu, he cursed again, "I've seen a fellow from the blood-fire demon race. That bastard said that he would cooperate at the beginning, but he turned around and tried to kill me. He's like a madman. None of you demons are good." The blue shadow was also depressed. Blood-fire demon race. All right. It was this race again that had ruined the reputation of the demon race. This was indeed a race of madmen. Since they had already said this much, the blue shadow did not say anything more. His smile faded a little, he said indifferently, since you don't want to cooperate, then don't cause trouble. Since you're cursing the demon race, you don't want to cause any more trouble and bicker with you. The 5 elements race, don't be too arrogant. After saying that, he flew off to look for the others. As for the Aborigine, he wanted to cry. I didn't scold him. I'm not arrogant. It's all because of this fellow. What does it have to do with me? F***ck, I want to leave. I want to follow this fellow and offend him. He hadn't even reached Heaven Break Valley yet, and he was already targeted by the demon race. Wasn't he wronged? As for Suyu, he was still cursing. The demon race doesn't have anything good. Brother Earth, we should have joined forces to kill her just now. She's only at the 3rd level of Lingyun. The Aborigine transformed into his human form and looked at him, wanting to curse. What about you? A mere 3rd level of Lingyun. What level are you at? Unable to be bothered to talk to him anymore, the Aborigine quickly said, Brother Shui, I still have some matters to attend to. An old friend summoned me, so I'll go over first. I'll look for you later. You go to Heaven Breaking Valley first. Alright, then I'll look for you later. If it's not possible, I can go with you too. This demon race doesn't have good intentions. I'm afraid that Brother 2 will be in danger. Brother 2, it's safer for me to go with you. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1578. 1578 Chapter 359, Shit Stirrer 4. F***CKU. If you come with me, I won't be safe anymore. No need, no need. I'll come over soon. Brother Shui, I'll go over first then. After saying this, the Aborigine directly left through the earth. F***CK, I'm not going with you anymore. Count me unlucky. If not for this fellow, I would have chatted with the demons a bit more. Even if I didn't do anything, I would have just been a spectator. Now, before I could even watch the show, I was already being watched by others. After the Aborigines left, Suyu heaved a sigh of relief. They had finally left. Following him was very annoying. He continued to move forward. There were more and more people here, so it wasn't good for him to change his form and continue moving forward. After a while, a huge canyon appeared in front of him. The canyon was very long. At this moment, on this side of the canyon, some people weren't gathered together, but were spread out in all directions. They were all very far away from each other. The most eye-catching side should be the demon race's side. At this moment, there were more than 10 demon race experts. At this moment, a young man with a flame between his brows had a powerful aura. He was speaking and his voice reverberated in all directions. He said in a clear voice, Huang Tang and Wu Qi are already heavily injured. They are hiding in the Heaven Break Valley. If you kill Huang Tang or Wu Qi, there will definitely be heaven and earth rewards. There will even be heaven and earth divine runes and heaven and earth divine weapons rewards. In the Sea of Desire Plains, it is very difficult for human experts to cross. Now that Huang Tang and the others have been forced into this place, it is a dead end. I know that everyone is worried about who to cooperate with, and there is no need for cooperation. After entering the Heaven Break Valley, the saber chi in other places was dense, and there were also some other forces mixed in. It was very difficult for Huang Tang and the others to come out. Only a few places where the saber chi was weak could be where they had fought their way out. As long as everyone guarded those places, the number 1 on the earth roll would definitely be replaced this time. He had just finished speaking, and Suyu had just arrived, directly loudly way, the demon race is not a good thing. This is the sword chi left by the Emperor of Great Xia. Huang Tang may be able to mobilize the sword chi and kill us directly. You must have some way of avoiding it. You didn't tell us, you wanted us to take the fall. Perhaps you still want to borrow us to be killed, wet knife chi. This method I have seen many demon clan, hand over to avoid knife chi method, otherwise we join hands to kill you, also must have heaven and earth reward. The surroundings were frighteningly quiet. Many geniuses began to probe their willpower. F***ck. Where did this rash youth come from? Of course, this was also in everyone's minds. It made sense. This possibility existed. It wasn't impossible to borrow them to dissipate the saber chi. Tian Duo was also slightly stunned. Even if everyone thought this way, no one would directly say it. At this moment, the blue figure was beside him and transmitted his voice. This fellow has been tricked by the blood-fire demon race. He is very hostile towards us demons. Tian Duo understood and was speechless in his heart. It was the blood-fire demon race again. This race was the thorn of the demon race. They were like madmen, provoking powerful enemies everywhere. Every time someone scolded the demon race, there was an 80 to 90% chance that it was the blood-fire demon race who provoked the enemy. The primogenitor demon race even wanted to deny that they were demons. However, the blood-fire demon race was very powerful. The blood-fire demon race had a total of 3 invincible realm existences. Even if they were split apart, they were still a powerful race. The primogenitor demon race was reluctant to expel them. If they really wanted to expel them, then, they would have one more powerful enemy. At this moment, after hearing Su Yu's words, he knew that this was an enemy that the blood-fire demon race had provoked. It was not strange. He said in a clear voice, "This fellow Taoist from the water spirit race, everything here depends on your ability. Not to mention that I do not have a way to dissolve the saber chi, even if I do. I will not hand it over to you. If everyone is afraid, you can leave." Could they bear to leave? If they were lucky, if they really killed Huang Tang and the others, the heaven and earth rewards would definitely be quite a lot. The higher the ranking of the people on the heaven hunting list, the higher the rewards would be for killing the other party, even if the other party was stronger than the other party. Heaven Yuan Chi, heaven and earth divine runes, heaven and earth divine weapons, ancient cultivation methods, ancient inheritances. These things could all appear in the heaven and earth rewards. Once Huang Teng, who was ranked first on the earth roll, was killed, he would at least be rewarded with a heaven and earth divine runes, right? Su Yu's words also made the aborigines hiding in the distance heave a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I didn't follow this fellow this time. This fellow is a big trouble. The next time I meet him, I'll avoid him a little and go far away. Tian Duo explained, but Su Yu didn't relent and said, "Why should I leave? This is your family's territory. This is the devil world. I won't leave. If you don't tell me the way to avoid the saber chi, I'll cause trouble for you." After saying that, Su Yu quickly fled. A drop of water disappeared from where he was. Tian Duo, who had been far away, instantly appeared where he had been. The long spear in his hand emitted dense devil aura and flames. Tian Duo's willpower spread out and searched around. He snorted coldly. "I've given you face. You still dare to cause trouble again and again." The others weren't surprised. In a place where the crowd was gathered, someone laughed telepathically. "This fellow from the Water Spirit clan is quite bold. He dared to provoke the experts of the Devil clan when he just entered Lingyun. Tian Duo isn't someone to be trifled with. Even Huang Teng was forced to hide in Heaven Break Valley by them. This fellow from the Water Spirit race won't think that Tian Duo won't dare to kill him, right? Ignore him. One look and you can tell that he's a hothead." The experts and geniuses spoke telepathically. They didn't recognize that water person either. Although they felt the same when they looked at the people from other races, especially the Five Elements race, this fellow's voice wasn't familiar and his strength was weak. They compared him. He shouldn't be one of those powerful water spirit race geniuses. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1579. 1579 Chapter 359, Shit Stirrer 5. A rash youth who appeared out of nowhere. And at this moment, in the distance, Suyu appeared once again like a transparent person. He cursed, "I knew it. The demons are all like this. Turning hostile and wanting to kill. Anyway, it's not the first time." Pucci. A thin sword pierced through the void where he was. Suyu disappeared once again. The next moment, a blue shadow appeared with a slight frown. After a while, a few demons attacked one after another and killed Suyu until he disappeared. Tian Duo was also speechless. There were really people who wanted to die. They were discussing how to kill Huang Teng, but in the end, a fellow from the Water Spirit clan came to cause trouble. Those who didn't know better would think that they were killing the family members of the Water Spirit clan. Humans and the Five Elements clan shouldn't have any relations. In the distance, Suyu's figure appeared once again. He said proudly, "The demons are only a so-so. Our Five Elements clan's escaping technique is the best in the world." Puff. A shadow appeared and pierced through the void with a sword, penetrating the water shadow. Shadow Demon Race. At this moment, Suyu had already fled again. As he ran, he transmitted his voice to all directions. The demons are like this. They will kill at the slightest disagreement, especially the Bloodfire demons. They are the most shameless. Do you really think that all the races are afraid of you demons? If you have the ability, kill me. If you can't kill me, I will go back and call for people to take revenge. Just you wait. After he finished speaking, he had already completely disappeared. Silence. Tian Duo frowned. Next to him, an eye appeared between the brows of a demon. He looked around and frowned. Let's go. It was a bad start. Before they could even join forces, they had already been stirred up by the Water Spirit race. At this moment, the three-eyed demon looked around helplessly. The escaping techniques of the Five Elements race are indeed powerful. That fellow escaped. However, there is another Earth Spirit here. He should be the floating Earth Spirit of the Earth Spirit race. Tian Duo nodded slightly, and divine light erupted from his eyes as he looked towards the place where the Aborigines were. In the distance, a few thousand meters away, when the Aborigines saw Tian Duo looking over, they cursed in their hearts once again. A figure appeared, and an Aborigine puppet appeared. It's a misunderstanding. I have no intention of becoming enemies with the demon race. That fellow Taoist just now, he probably lost his composure because he was scammed by the Bloodfire demon race. Fellow Taoist Tian Duo, don't misunderstand. Tian Dao nodded slightly. He said indifferently, "Floating Earth Spirit, I hope you won't cause us any trouble. This time, we're here to avenge Morba and his brother. We have no intention of making an enemy out of any race. Killing Huang Teng and Wuxia is the only consensus." Of course. The native puppet smiled and instantly dispersed, disappearing from the spot. The native also fled and didn't come any closer. I couldn't help but curse in my heart. F***ck. I'm really blind. I actually took the initiative to come here with that guy. This is great. I haven't even watched the show yet, but I've already been targeted by the demons. On the other side, the white-haired expert of the celestial race also brought a few experts of the black-armored race to investigate. He said indifferently, "The Five Elements race, the brain of this Water Spirit race has all been cultivated into water. It's not a big threat. Otherwise, Tian Duo will put down Huang Teng and kill him." Tian Duo and the others didn't dare to leave the heaven-breaking valley too far in case Huang Teng ran away. Otherwise, even if Suyu escaped, there would still be some traces to be found. Red Armor nodded slightly and didn't say anything. He was just a little curious. This escape technique, was it the Five Elements clan's escape technique? The humans' escape technique from before was somewhat similar to the Five Elements clans. It was also very difficult to track. Red Armor didn't have much contact with the Five Elements clan before and knew that this clan's escape technique was unparalleled. At this moment, he couldn't help but think of Cui Lang. That human was Cui Lang. He already knew that from the list. Cui Lang also knew escape arts. He had never seen water escape arts, but Cui Lang knew earth escape arts. Moreover, he also had wind escape arts. It seemed that he also knew it. The Five Elements clan didn't have Wind Spirit clan. Red Armor thought to himself with a trace of doubt, but he didn't think too much about it. If the divine scribes of the human clan had many divine scribes, it wasn't strange that they knew some special escape arts. One was a human, and the other was a Five Elements clan. The difference between the two was still very big. Lorden, are we going to enter Heaven Break Valley to kill Huangtang and the others? There's no rush. The white-haired man said with a faint smile, although the water spirit race is stupid, what they said is right. Huangtang must have some preparation and confidence to run here. If the saber chi here doesn't disappear, he might become a ghost under the sword of the great Xia King. Even if there's a trace of saber chi left in the eternal realm and all of it explodes, we won't feel good. Let's see how Tendo solves this problem. We'll listen to Sir. Red Armor didn't say anything. Killing Huangtang wasn't his goal, and it would be difficult for him to seize the opportunity to kill Huangtang in front of others. If he really killed Huangtang, he might not be able to get the heaven and earth rewards. Right now, he wanted to see Cui Lang come over. It would be best if he could save these humans. Let this guy die. Su Yu, who had already escaped, stopped tens of miles away. He let out a breath and chuckled. It felt great. He knew that the other party wouldn't chase after him. If there was someone else chasing after him, he would have a chance to kill that guy. Now that there was no one chasing after him, that was great. I've managed to stall for time. I'm such a good person. That Huangtang is my teacher's enemy, yet I'm still trying to stall for time for him. There aren't many good people like me in this world. If Huangtang doesn't die this time, he can just beat me up a few times. It's best to record it and send it to my teacher. But I feel that, the probability of being killed isn't small. That Tendo and the other demons all seem to be very strong. P.S. I accompanied my wife to the prenatal checkup in the morning. I delayed some time. I'm about to give birth. I've been very busy recently.